And we are live. Welcome to the Rinky Dink Bullshit Podcast with your host, the podcast god, Superfly, Johnny Lee. And tonight we got a stacked card because we got the MWA Mountain Wrestling Association's very own legendary Bobby Green right here to my left. And we got to his left, we got Tommy Gunn.
World famous.
That's right, world famous Tommy Gunn. And then to my right, we got someone that's been here already before with the Green family. We got Tommy Green. And tonight is what's all about. We're all about the Mountain Wrestling Association. So let's get to it. Bobby Green. Why don't you let us know a little bit about Bobby Green, legendary Bobby Green. How did you get your start?
I got my start back in 79, right behind the Lexington Bluegrass Airport for Cliff Lilly.
Ain't bad.
Yeah, and it was, well, Donnie, he trained me. He taught me how to give a backdrop on concrete.
Ooh.
And a body slam. That was my training session. We worked that night.
Hey, that's what it used to be about, because back then there was no off season.
That's old school.
Yep. You got body slam to a concrete, you're gonna be working that night. It don't matter if you're in pain. Hey,
That's
you're
right.
gonna be going to that match.
It wasn't old school, it was real school.
That's right.
I was going to say, a few years later, it didn't progress much. Instead of the concrete, we were out in the backyard.
And that ring didn't feel any different either. That ring.
Them are wooden
was
rings.
solid.
Them are wooden rings, them ain't metal rings.
Yeah, those wooden rings had no give. Not like today's rings.
Yeah, it wouldn't be all them high flyers.
And you and Donnie Green, y'all worked there as tag team for years.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about that.
Well, when me and it first started out as Donnie Green worked in Lexington with the Weasel. I don't know, that's way before my time. And he worked over there at on Winchester Road in Lexington.
Eastland, it was actually a
Parts house.
well, it was right beside a Parts house with
Billy Connor.
Billy Connors, and I was involved in it. It was actually a skating ring, what it was, right here in Eastland. And, yeah, yeah, we got some serious trouble. Go ahead, Bobby.
And we come back when we started working. Well, when he got into it with the Weasel, they fell out. So he brought me in. I had no idea what I was doing, but he said, "You'll be fine." So he put my ass in there, my back up in there, and I worked Larry Steele and Sam Cody.
Psycho Sam Cody.
No,
No.
Oh, not
no.
the
this
Psycho
is a
one.
different one.
Yeah.
I didn't meet Psycho until I came to Georgetown.
Oh.
When I came to Georgetown in 1982, I think it was. That was when Eric Emery left, and he went down to Texas, and he opened up the Texas Tornado Wrestling. That was Eric Emery, and that was when Bobby Fulton was working in Georgetown. Dale Mann was working in Georgetown. Danny
Go
Fulton
ahead
was
and
working
name
in
it
Georgetown.
right.
I mean,
It's Crazy Bobby Fulton.
Well, he didn't care for that. He got away from that.
I know he didn't, but
And
it's where he
told me-
started.
He told me, he said, "Bobby, I've been trying to get away from that name." And that was the last time I called him that.
Yeah.
But that, Bobby Fulton had the best gimmick in the business that I've ever seen since I've been in the business. He can clean a crowd. He walks to the ring everybody will go to the other side of the arena because they didn't want to be around Bobby.
Because they was scared of him, because he'd come out slobbering at the
And
mouth.
he had that coming out of his face. He'd go to the concession stand. He'll put that ketchup in there, and he'll put that mustard in there, and that made it 10 times worse. And then I had to work him one night, and that didn't go over too good neither.
What happened then with that?
Well, I was sicker than a dog before I even got out of there. I had to go out back to throw up.
Oh,
Because
man.
he had that all over.
Yeah. You had to work, even if he was like that, you had to still work it.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, yeah.
And Tommy Gunn, I want to know, where'd you get your start inside the business?
Actually, I got my start in my hometown. That's Wolford County, right down the road here in Purcell's. We run a little small town called Millville. Back in '94.
The night I met him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Buddy of mine, I had just got out of the military from basic training, and a buddy of mine said, "Hey, you want to wrestle?" I said, "Sure, why not?" He slammed me a few times on the ground, and pretty much the rest was history. That was, there
So
wasn't no.
You had old school too.
Oh yeah, there wasn't no inside the ring training. There wasn't no padding on the floor. It was out in the backyard. I think I learned to run the ropes 2 minutes before the show started. And the very first night, Uncle Tommy over there comes in. He goes, "This is my nephew." I'm like, "Okay." And it's just been that way ever since.
Yeah, his kids even call us Uncle Tommy.
Nice.
That's Uncle Bobby. Their great-grandkids is even calling us Uncle Tommy, Uncle Bobby. So, yeah, that's how far it goes back.
Hell yeah.
His wife, right today, will call me Uncle Tommy. And I guess when I go in the grave, she'll still call me Uncle Donnie, Uncle Tommy. So there you go.
Heck yeah. Hey, we got Ronnie Green tune in. He said this. He said, "Better keep PG. Ashley is watching." Then he said, "Who's the guy beside Dad? Never seen him before."
My language is clean. Tell his daughter that.
That's right. Oh, and look at this. We got Tuppy Jr. inside the house. He said, "Uncle Tommy Green, you're getting old as fuck."
Oh, listen at him.
Now,
man.
now listen to that. Now
Nah,
I can't say shit.
Yeah, we ain't allowed to
I
say
know,
shit.
right? And yet,
Yeah.
Tuppy Jr. goes and says,
Junior.
"Man." But this right here is what it's all about. We're getting to know everything about y'all because tonight's all about the Mountain Wrestling Association and all of y'all. Like, everyone wants to know, what has Bobby Green, legendary Bobby Green, been doing since retirement?
Did you say the legendary Bobby Green?
Yes,
Okay, I'll leave that alone then.
because you are legendary.
Because you hadn't been using the legendary word, and I've been letting that slide. Now I'm going to.
I used it the first time.
No, I apologize. Lee. But like I was saying earlier, the best time in the business that I've been in was back from the 80s to the 90s. There's no comparison. The people I've met, the people I've come in contact with, it's dynamite. I've met the Bobo Brazil. I've met Tojo
Senior
Yamamoto.
and junior.
I've met Tojo Yamamoto. I've met Jimmy Bayyett. I've met Jerry Lawler. I've met Luthez, the Luthez.
Nice.
He used to come to Georgetown just to talk to Dale. And that's how far Dale Mann goes back. I mean, Dale Mann has taught us a lot in this business. And the MWA it's been great in our lives because, well, we bought probably Dale Mann 3 houses,
Yeah.
2 limousines. We always said that. But Dale Man has taught us a lot.
And the thing about the MWA is, you didn't just walk in off the streets and climb in that ring.
No.
You know, I speak of that from experience.
Exactly.
You know, I sat in Georgetown in the crowd and watched, and I even talked with Dale Mann and got told straight up, you pay me and I'll put you back in the ring. I'll retrain you and teach you what you know. It took me probably another 10 years to be able to step foot into an MWA wrestling ring. You know, so you just don't, the Mountain Wrestling Association, you didn't just walk in off the street just to anybody and say, hey, I'm a wrestler, and, you know, they throw you in the ring and you were a superstar.
Exactly.
Even if you did get in the ring, you weren't a superstar. Back then, you paid your dues.
That's right.
And you definitely paid your dues.
Yes, sir.
That's something that today's wrestlers need to understand. You have to pay your dues before you can start calling yourself a professional wrestler.
If you can do the walk, you better do the talk.
That's right. Because if you can't do the talk or the walk, your bullshit's gonna walk.
You're walking all right.
That's right.
You're walking right out of the square.
And also, if you ain't got respect, then your ass ain't gonna make it inside wrestling.
Exactly.
Like, that's one thing that wrestling's been built on. Respect. If you're going to make it into wrestling, you got to show respect. You got to pay your dues. You got to show these guys that's willing to train you that you do care.
And nowadays, everybody wants to do a spot. They have no idea. They need to leave the TV off because it will get them killed, or get a leg broke, or get an arm broke.
Exactly. And we got a fan here, Tricia Rose. She said, not just the workers, but also the fans. I was running around growing up, and they all know who I was and raised me.
Well, her, I'm telling you, I brought her to the show one night, and I think she was probably about 5 years old. And I just let them run. I mean, we know I was there for 20 years. I know everybody in that crowd. They sit in the same seats every Sunday night. It's the same people every Sunday night. And I just let the kids run wild. As a matter of fact, I was in the ring, and somebody was walking out that door with her, and somebody else stopped it. Because they know that child did not belong to that person that's taking her out of that building. And that was the last time I brought her too, by herself.
Exactly. And Tommy Gunn, what would you say was your best time in the business?
The best time. Well, I'll be honest with you, man. I didn't really have a bad time in the business. Because I was in the business, you know, I've been retired for about 10 or 12 years now. And the business has changed so much in that 10 or 12 years. But before that, there wasn't a bad time because we all run the roads. You know, it was all us. We went out there, we had a good time. We knew we didn't have to worry about anything. And when it was over and done with, we were all friends. Everybody walked away, you know, had some of the best fights. And didn't have to worry about anything because we were all a brotherhood.
That's right.
Everybody.
You know, we knew everybody. Like you said, our kids run around the shows. You know, I've got 3 of them myself that run around the shows. You know, everybody knew everybody's kids. They took care of everybody. And you don't see that in this business nowadays.
No.
You don't.
You know.
You also don't see the camaraderie.
You don't. I go to, you know, don't get me, I'm not saying anything bad about these younger guys. You know, they've got their way of doing things, and it's working for them.
Well, don't get me started on them. But
Well, you know, hey, it's working for them.
yeah.
Okay? I'm not saying it's
It
working
ain't working for me.
Yeah, there you go. But it's working for them, but it's not the same as it was when we were kicking it.
Because they want to play their video games instead of go out, probably hang out, talk to each other.
Well,
do what guys would do.
It was definitely a brotherhood back then and a sisterhood. I mean, there was just as many lady workers as there was the guy workers. And
Yep.
we would definitely take a bullet for each other back then. You definitely, if a spectator got involved, you always had to depend on the one on the other side of the corner to watch your back, and you was watching theirs. I mean, it was just unbelievable the brotherhood there was.
Exactly. Ronnie wants to know, you have underwear on?
Tell Ronnie the only time I don't wear underwear is in his dreams.
Now, you know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
I thought he was bringing in Chucky Smooth.
No, I know what he's talking about.
Oh, we've had
that story
Chucky Smooth on here
Hey.
before.
That was a bad accident that night.
That
and I
night,
tried to even put you in the middle of the road on that one, didn't it?
it's you say that night. It happened more than once. I
know,
have to
but
admit.
but when I brought it up on the loudspeaker, you go, no.
John Stevens said, first time I saw any member of the Green family was at the bingo hall in Georgetown, Kentucky, and it was Donnie Green.
There you go.
Heck yeah.
Little Donnie. That was Little Donnie in the bingo hall. There's a difference between Little Donnie and Big Donnie. We call him Biggin. So, yeah, when you people out there say Donnie, we're thinking Biggin.
Yep.
Me and Bubby.
Well, is he talking about Big Donnie or Little
He said the bingo hall. So there you go.
That
It
has
had
to be younger
say-
Bobby.
That was in the earlier
I mean,
later
Donnie.
years. You guys were at the convention center.
Right.
Yeah, we was at the convention center. We was at the
Yeah, was at the
Civic
bingo
Center.
hall.
We was at for Dale Man. Yes.
Yeah.
And they're learning a lot about the Green family because not only do they got the Green family that they knew, but they got Lexi Green that's still carrying on the name out there for people that don't know who the Green family is. They're starting to learn because they're seeing her.
What? They don't
And
know who the Greens are?
There's a lot of people that know who the Greens are, but I'm talking about the ones that don't know.
Are
them.
these people just crawling out from under a rock?
There are a bunch of people like that don't know who the Greens are because they were underneath a rock where they just don't know what great wrestling is.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that rock. I was talking about a solid rock.
Yeah, that's what I meant, the solid rock. But they're starting to know who y'all are because they're starting to realize, wait a minute, is she part of this world famous Green family that I've been hearing about?
For sure.
And they're starting to check out Bobby Green Sr. They're starting to check out
wait a
everyone.
minute. Before I answer that, does she wear a strap? If
Yeah.
she wears a strap, yep, she belongs to
Yep,
us.
she does.
Yeah.
Because Bobby Green was a mansion.
She's
earlier.
just coming out of Texas. If she ain't even took off yet, but she was supposed to have been either last night or tonight there in Texas.
Yeah, she's in Texas. She took a picture earlier today
Okay.
that shows
okay.
that she's down there.
Right. Okay. Like I said, I think it was she worked last night and coming back tonight, but I don't quote me on that.
And like she said, the reason why she's doing this is because she wants to carry the Green family name to all these states and let them know that the Green family are still around.
We're still pumping.
Exactly. And when y'all are on here, the people that were going to that right there, they're remembering y'all because they know who the Mountain Wrestling Association is. They know who y'all are, and they were been coming. I mean, when Tom Green was there, you saw that there was members of the NWA that was sitting outside the crowd.
Right there in Richmond.
The MWA was the best fans in the business. I'm not just saying that. I've been there. I've seen them. MWA is the best fans around. But it's like I said, 20 years in Georgetown, Kentucky. We sit there every Sunday night for 20 years. We had a 2-inch clipping in the newspaper. That's all the advertising we did. And it's the same butts in the same seats every Sunday night. You know them. I mean, they become family.
Well, I can't say it's just wrestling was all different.
Well, that's it.
The
It was
license.
wrestling back then.
Right then, the promotion was different because you got to go by so many laws. There is you wouldn't believe the law has changed around. Look, you ever see a barricade around there? It wasn't up but a dab blasted string.
But
That's all they had.
the only-
But nowadays, go to a wrestling ring. Go to a wrestling ring today.
The only rule that the commissioner had back then, you couldn't go over the top rope.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the only regulation. But you had to be licensed.
If you went over the top rope, it's disqualified. Okay,
Yep.
So
That used to be the rule. You can't go outside the ring. You had to stay right there.
You had to be in there. You had to work the ring. I'm telling you, there is so many laws has changed. Everybody had the downfalls on Jack Kearns. I'm gonna tell you right now. If it wasn't for that old man, sure. If you didn't show up with your license in your pocket, you had to buy a license that night.
Yeah.
That night. Okay, Jack might have pocketed that, so what? You got to work. You got to work.
Exactly.
That's so much bull crap that you go. And I don't downfall Kentucky for it, but go to Tennessee, go to West Virginia, come on, really? Indiana. There is a difference. If you ever went to Indiana and fans are, look at them. They're different. All they want to do is blood, blood, blood. No. It ain't blood.
Well, that's where the backyard wrestling come in.
Yeah.
There's a little
they don't
difference.
understand.
Right. And there is a difference. Ohio, West Virginia, you had to have a physical. Handsome Jimmy, I love that man to death. He showed me so much over the years.
Great
showed
wrestler.
me everything. There is a lot of difference when you go to the ring than when you go to the ring. You seen yourself.
Yep.
You never seen me before until I showed up in Richmond, right?
Yep.
Did I not make a difference?
You did.
Did I not work? I didn't even open my mouth, but I worked the crap.
You did.
There's a difference, right?
Nowadays, they won't work the crowd. They just let them sit there and buy a ticket. They're not going to buy that ticket if you don't get them involved. You got to bring a crowd involved.
And also, there's wrestlers there that some fans might sit there and they'd be like, I could whoop that guy.
Yeah.
But back then, when they saw a wrestler, they'd be like,
He'd have
I couldn't
trouble.
whoop that guy at all.
He'd have trouble.
Exactly. And now they got this rule where you can't go over the crowd barrier.
Right.
Like
right.
one day, old school wrestler Chase Stevens threw Chris Crow, a new wrestler, over the barricade. And I didn't know that there's a rule like that. They say, I know Red X comes over, he's like, hey, stops everyone, and he makes them come back over the barricade.
Right,
That's a new rule that was added.
Right. That's a rule they added. See what I'm saying? I understand saving the fans, but save a worker too.
Yeah.
There's a difference. I remember, I'm going to tell you right now, I set them up, and if I can get ready to lay this guy out in that front row, I'll whisper right in his ear, duck. And when I hit him, I didn't play games.
Well,
Exactly.
But I was fair.
we always had trouble when we fell on the floor anyhow because we was stabbed, spit on, kicked,
Right.
Yep.
stomped.
'Cause
I mean,
A
You
million
didn't
nights.
work in the
God
crowd
only
back
knows.
then because it was safer for you to stay in the ring.
yeah,
know.
that was a safe place because
Exactly.
God only knows.
Exactly.
and like everyone
says.
says, they come over that barricade, they're fair game.
And I'm telling you right now, and I'm sure these fans right here on radio or wherever we're at would remember my mom. How many times would she wind up in the ring?
Oh,
if don't play games, and we never did smarten her up. So if y'all get over every side mom and y'all go to whooping on us, you're gonna get in trouble. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna get in some serious trouble.
But Danny Fargo right there, we was on a road trip one night. I think we was coming out of Jamestown. And Dusty Fargo, his brother, he had an old Ford. I mean, the trunk was shoved all the way to the back. And I think it was Danny, Dusty, Ron Starr, and me. Dusty was driving, and we was coming home. And then everybody was asleep, and then all of a sudden, this big semi blows by us, and it rocks the Ford that we was in. And we wake up, and we're in the middle of the interstate on a bridge, no lights, no overhead lights, in the middle of the interstate. And Dusty sound asleep in the driver's seat. I don't know how in the world we survived a lot of them shows.
Exactly.
You definitely had to keep track of when Dusty got to sleep and when he didn't.
He'd go to sleep in the rain.
Christian said she went after all of you, but I had to sit on Granddaddy. They would mess with him.
Yeah, would kick his wheelchair.
That was Ray the Bear and Al Steele.
Yep, the Steels.
I kept telling them to leave that old man alone, that they're going to stroke the old man out.
That's what they would do, though. You were bringing up your tag teams earlier. What would you say was your best tag team partner?
Right there, Ralph Green. He was a Green.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Ralph Green. He was. Well, they called him Ralph right there. He used to work at Georgetown. He took care of the maintenance right there around Georgetown.
He always brought Donnie cigars.
Yeah, he brought us cigars all the time. My best tag team partner, let's go out there and ask the people, who y'all think my best tag team partner I had? I had Johnny, Sexy Shane.
Johnny, who's Johnny?
I was going to say,
Blackwell.
I was kind of more partial to Johnny Blackwell.
That's
back
who it
in the
was.
day.
Oh.
Johnny Blackwell. That's who it was. That's who I first tagged with under Outlaw.
Well, reason I was asking is because my wife, Brenda, and Johnny Blackwell.
And Brenda is tuned in.
But I'm going to catch hell for that.
I know. But I tagged with Terry Allen. I've tagged with Handsome Jimmy. I remember that one time he was talking about down in La Follette, Tennessee. I had a big decked out in a white suit one night, and Billy Connors and Donnie. It was a gym, okay? And when you come out of the gym, when you come out of the door, you're right into the fans. You know what I'm saying? They had, bleachers right above where you come out of the door at and everything. And I had this big white tux on in La Follette, Tennessee. And after the match was all over with, to show you what kind of fans we had there, Donnie and Billy Connors already made it through the dressing room, and I'm out there styling and profiling.
Yep.
And when I walked under the bleachers right there, they poured, you tell me, I don't know what it was. It had tobacco juice. This guy never drunk water in his life. It was all in that bottle.
Well,
and that white suit went.
If it was down there in La Follette, it was 12-year-old kids chewing tobacco. I'm telling you what it was.
Yeah. And he poured it all over that white suit. Well, of course, I'm puking and gagging because I can't stand it. I got weak stomach anyway, and
let me tell you, them kids could sit out in that crowd right there, that far from that ring, and they could spit and hit you right between the eyes.
Yep.
You'll be standing straight up in that ring.
and wouldn't bat an eye.
There's Patty Pal.
I was going
Yep,
to
there she is.
Patty Pal. I love that girl.
Yep. That's who Bob Blade and Dirty Chris Hayes was putting over.
Oh, yeah.
And also
Patty
Ray
Pal.
X. Patty
Patty
Pal, that's
Pal.
another one that we want to get on here.
Oh, well, I can
She
get
was in it
over
a
her.
lot longer than that, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because we went through a lot back then. I mean, with everybody. Who is that? I'm trying to see who the.
Yeah, once you get inside the
I
ring,
don't
we'll
know
be able to
about-
see it.
I think that's a Liz.
No, it wasn't Elizabeth.
No, it's the Monroe sisters. One of the Monroe sisters, Lisa, and yeah, that's way before your time.
Yeah, that was when I was sitting in the crowd watching, hoping to be in an MWA.
And I looked at you trying to get help.
Looked at the wrong way.
That's right.
I should have looked to my right instead of going to the left.
I moved on you.
Patty Powell is definitely one of the best women's managers and also wrestlers that they had in NWA.
Right.
But
In
that's-
them days.
That's what I'm talking about. I was wanting to do something back for the golden years. That we, all of us, before we're all gone. I mean, do something to give back to the MWA fans and bring the golden years back.
We could do that
Some
because
way,
Patty
somehow.
Powell is still around,
Yeah.
and
Right.
Right.
Tuffy's wife wants to be on too.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. I know,
Tricia, because she shot you out earlier. She said Tommy Green.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart. I loved her.
She also shouted out Tommy Gunn.
Oh yeah, me and Tuffy, Lord, we wrestle so much.
Hey, tell them I'm sitting here too.
Yeah, you should be shouting out
I mean-
legendary Bobby
I mean-
Green.
You got to consider who you
Forget
are.
Tommy and Tommy. I bet Bobby and Bobby.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, because you're legendary.
You're legendary. I'm world famous.
There's
That's
a
why I
difference.
get the shout outs
there you
because
go.
I'm
There
world
you go.
famous over
And
here.
I'm the legendary outlaw Tommy Green. The legendary heartbreaking.
But I'm telling you right now, I'm sitting center stage Joe, right now.
Yeah,
No,
that's
you
true.
just think you are. We're just letting you sit in the center. The camera's not, it's actually around you, it's not on you.
But I mean, looking at this, you can see just how impactful the MWA was. Because look at Patty Powell; she's letting the crowd register.
Right.
So is her opponent.
It's the way she was brought in.
Yep.
Nowadays, they won't. They don't get. I mean, they don't get it.
They don't.
I mean, right there, they're not even breaking a sweat, and they're still getting the crowd involved.
Exactly.
I was in the business, like I said, I started in '94, and I probably didn't run my first spot or even know what a spot was until I joined the MWA like 10, 12 years later. We just didn't run spots back then. You went out, and it happened out there. You didn't go off what somebody said in the back. It was what off the crowd. We fed off the crowd.
We never even, they hollered, we talked spots and all this in the back. Good. How many times you ever see me? And I'd be shaking my head. Okay. And never done the first friggin' spot.
But see, I mean, nowadays they don't even know what good heat is. They're getting cheap heat. They're not getting good heat.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not patting myself on the back, but back when Chadwick was running the card down, or Dale Bass was running the card down, they would mention the Green brothers. We would get more heat off of our name than us being out there in the crowd. I mean, that's when you're doing something right.
Exactly. And Patricia L. Wilson just said, "Big Bobby, I love you. You are my favorite."
Are you kidding me, Trish?
better
Are
love
you
me.
kidding me, Trish?
You know she throw
You
that in
kidding
after
me?
the fact.
I know,
It's
right?
just
She's feeling sorry. All right. I know where you're at. All right, Trish. Okay, it's all good. It's all good.
But it's
no,
true.
I'm telling you, when I had my show, her Tuffy was my Stone Cold.
Nice.
That was my. You couldn't put him a microphone on him, but
Yep.
other than that, that's my Stone Cold.
Unfortunately, we let him have a mic the other day, and
That was your fault.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
learned
he the first time they had it, he said, "I just wanted to see how it felt."
And you're sitting there getting on me for saying
Nah, that wasn't me. That was Tommy Green.
And you give him a microphone. That's your problem.
At least he just petted it and said, "I just like the way it feels."
Well, to be honest, I wasn't allowed to have a microphone either.
No.
Because I'd spit and stutter. As a matter of fact, when we was doing Donnie Green's memorial when he passed, I was out there, and even Chris Hayes get his off that microphone because he has no idea what he's saying. But that's old.
Yeah.
See, that's part of the business that I never got to master. It's working that stick. Well, I couldn't do it.
I'd put the stick in front of nephew.
I wasn't allowed to.
No.
And Bobby Green, Trisha said, tell Big Bobby the twins was Lisa and Teresa.
Yeah, the Malone sisters.
Yep. And John Stevens said, I'm just curious.
I know who that is. That's Amber. Ain't that Amber?
Is that Amber?
Payne?
No.
Nah,
No.
You better look at her.
I can't really see the glare in her eye yet, but
John Stevens has a question for all y'all.
Who?
John Stevens. I'm John Stevens. He said, I am just curious. Who are some of y'all's greatest rivals from over the years in wrestling?
greatest rival.
Well, the only one that we ever sent home was the Marino brothers, Steve and Billy Marino, and Billy Lane, and Danny Fargo, Johnny Reeves, which they're gone now. R.I.P. Rest in peace.
Yep.
But we had it every Sunday night.
Wayne Fields, remember Wayne Fields?
Wayne Fields was out of La Follette, Tennessee. He was chief of police.
He was
we used to
actually
work him.
he was actually a chief of police, and we worked in La Follette, Tennessee, where I got piss poured on me. I'm allowed to say piss, right?
Yep, you are.
All right, I'll get away with that on the radio. But anyway, Wayne Fields loved that man to death, and there was a bank clerk, and I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, he said, I'll die in the ring.
I was just fixing to tell that story.
And and he literally had a heart attack in the ring.
He come back and said, I'm gonna lay down on the bleacher back there in the back.
Back.
And we was still watching a match. Hell, we come back there and he was cold. He literally
died and if he didn't die in the ring, I mean, that's how much wrestling back then took care of one another. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough night.
He went out on his own terms.
Right,
So.
he went on his own terms, but he done his show.
Yep.
And funny story, I was going to tell you about Ron Starr, Fazil Dean, when he was working for ICW. Randy Savage told Ron to bring his car, his Mercedes, to Bowling Green.
Yep.
Ron said, all right. So he gets out, he out there on Purcell's Road, getting on BG Parkway. Before he gets on BG Parkway, he fills the Mercedes up. The Mercedes is a diesel. He put regular gas in it.
Oh.
Well, now it's locked up out on BG Parkway, and Ron's got to break this to Randy Savage. So Randy goes slick off. He says, you're going to stay with my car, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards spiel. I mean, he wasn't happy. Anyhow, he told Ron, wait for the tow truck and take that back to his place. Well, when the tow truck showed up, he done sat there 2 hours waiting on the tow truck. When the tow truck shows up, he didn't drop the dry shaft. And when they was going down the road, the damn Mercedes caught on fire, and it torched. So he had to break down and tell Randy
again.
his car is destroyed. It ain't just wrecked or locked up. It's destroyed. That went over like a turd to punch bowl, I tell you.
Yep.
You ain't allowed to say turd.
Well, it's close.
He's loud. But Christian said, I'll never forget Marino. I had his poster and Dad came in bleeding and I tore it all down.
Well,
Brenda Lee said, Tommy Gunn isn't saying much.
No, Tommy Gunn don't ever get a chance to say much when he's around the unks. I'm kind of like you guys. I sit back and just listen to all the stories because a lot of these are even coming out from before I was in it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's better to listen to the stories.
It ain't been that long. I mean, you're getting up there too.
Well, I am getting up there, but now you did say you started in what, 79?
Well, yeah, you were still shitting.
Oh, yeah, I was.
You're still in yellow greens.
I wasn't but 3 years old at that time. So
We gotta be.
You were running around saying, "Mama."
that's right.
There's Steve Marino again.
But
That's Doug Bynes too.
Yep, big Doug Bynes.
But see, that's the difference when we were talking about the camaraderie from then and now.
yeah,
Is, I'm 30 years. They were in the business that long before I ever got into this. 20 years before I got into it.
And we're still brothers.
And look, we're still sitting here.
that's
You
right.
know, and it's been that way ever since I stepped into the business. You walked in the locker room, and when you showed respect, you got respect, and this is what came of it. You know, and not saying they don't have the camaraderie today, they just don't have it like we did back
We
in the
know
day.
everybody in his family. He knows everybody in our family.
And
That's
it's
right.
just, it ain't just Gunn. I mean, we're talking states away. You know, I mean, I know a bukus of families, but there's a difference in families and uncles. I'm telling you, his girls will call, hey, she just had a grandbaby. And I'm still griping about it's not Tommy.
That ain't Steve. That's Billy. That's Billy Marino.
Billy Marino.
Yeah, it is Billy, ain't it?
Oh, John Stevens remembers you from EWA. He said, speaking of Tommy Green at the most recent EWA show in Richmond, Kentucky, he said, shit, at least a few times on the mic if I am right.
I ain't allowed to say shit. I ain't allowed to say shit. My bad. There I go. I done said it again.
But see,
Y'all
It
must be
happened.
in trouble every time.
that's the first time I seen Billy Marino without seeing the soles of his shoes. I always seen the soles of his shoes. He was always laying on his back.
Yeah. And this is the first time that you're not seeing the souls.
That's right.
And
Oh, you know him too, huh?
nice power slam they just did. Instead of trying to move to the next spot, he's just taking his time
He's
to
milking it.
make the fans
Make the work.
and make them look at his fist like, I'm going to knock this guy's teeth
it.
down his throat.
That's what I'm telling you. Tim.
They
was
gotta-
no,
they
that's
gotta
Dale
finish.
Bass. Dale Bass is blind as a goat too because he was sitting there punching him,
Yeah.
and still didn't call it. Oh, it was a pole match. Okay, I apologize.
Yep,
I've
it's
been
a
in a
pole
few
match.
of them pole match. Anyway.
Yeah, we was in Texas strap match too.
Oh, I hated them strap matches. And the first one, Gunn got me involved in them strap matches. I was the good guy, and Gunn was the bad guy.
Yeah, and how many times did you get hit? Okay.
I'm still waiting on my whooping.
Me and Jeff Rowe and Cousin Junior and Donnie, we was in a Texas strap match right there in that square, and they beat the shit out of us. I don't like talking about that.
I'd bring dollar belts in. I'd bring dollar belts in the night that Gunn was involved into that one.
I had so many whelps across me, I couldn't
made
count
money.
them.
I made money off the belts.
Because hey, I don't like bringing them nights up.
And Gunn still, he said, how many belts around there? I said, I don't know. I brought 20 in there, and I know there's, but there's a difference back then. You was allowed to bring the fans there and make money off the fans.
Yep.
And there's a difference in the barricade again. There I go again with the barricade. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
But did we not have fun?
Oh, we had a blast.
I know you
Until
did.
big guy up in the back of Millville get out there with that belt. I think he wore a weightlifting belt
Oh,
as
no.
his daily working belt.
You ain't seen nothing. We had a fan that had a bullwhip sit on that left corner right over there. He had a bullwhip. Dale man knowed him. He's a big old heavy-set old guy. He would grab that dang bullwhip and wear your ass out. Now, be hit by a bullwhip.
Oh, I'm telling you.
How you going? Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
And it's 10 foot long, buddy.
It didn't fit. I was, no, I'm out of here.
It didn't feel good at all to get hit with.
No, I got hit one time. That's all it took.
Stay down
Yep.
that corner.
And then I throw Donnie in there. Go on, Donnie, you got it.
It's all right.
I bet that didn't feel good for him either.
Well, just put it this way. We learned to when we'd bump and know when not to bump. That was the spots that and I finally taught Gunn over there a long time ago. Saying, Gunn, what are you doing on that bump? He said, but it looks good. I said, count my bumps. Count my bumps.
That's right.
Yeah, I was young and dumb.
But I'm telling you, Doug Vines right there and Donnie Green had dynamite matches together because they know what each other could do. I mean, Doug Vines, he knowed exactly what Donnie Green could take, and anytime you're in there with Donnie Green, he's gonna wear your ass out. I mean, you're gonna feel it. And they had dynamite matches.
That's right. 'Cause they knew
You was
they
talking
didn't
about all
have
them
to talk to
bumps
each
I
other.
was taking, Unc. I tell you, the reason I took those money bumps is because it took me until I got with the MWA to learn to work.
That's what I tried to teach you over the years.
Well, that's when I was training Donnie and little Bobby and little Donnie. We taught them how to bump. We didn't teach them how to work.
We never did teach them how to work. I never taught that one how to
They thought
just bump.
they said this is wrestling. Hell, this is vacation.
Yeah, I bumped.
We never taught them nothing. Never.
He said, all I done was bumped until I hit the MWA and working with these guys and Ray and
But
Al
see,
and
as long as
you know.
you'll take them bumps, we'll keep you
Oh
around.
yeah, they kept me around. I was
Because we didn't have to do the
And
bumps.
then they go get
That's
them.
right.
Then they go getting them damn knee pads on their butt. No,
I didn't know what a knee pad was.
no. Take that off. Take that off.
That's right. Because back then, not a lot of guys wore knee pads or
No.
elbow pads.
I mean, they did. We just didn't tell them.
No,
Yeah.
no, you need them.
yeah,
You
because
That's
You
a
need them
wood
in,
ring.
in that wood ring.
At the wooden ring. You definitely need them, but
Yep.
we didn't tell them because we didn't think they'd be around. We didn't think they'd be around, but get us another one that would sucker into this. You
Yep.
know what I mean? That's the reason we done it over the years. Because we never got taught. We got taught the rough way.
yep.
Diamond Jim, there's another old hand. That was
Yep.
that was Dale Mann's son-in-law back then. That was
LTNT man.
yep.
That's another good one right there.
Sizemore twins too is another
The
set.
Malone Toledo Blondes. Hell, they went by everything in the world, but yeah, the Sizemore twins.
Sizemore twins.
They
They was.
Which
they,
they're gone.
They learned to want. Yeah, they're gone.
I mean, who would y'all say?
well, see back then it was the Green brothers and the Malones and
Marino, Steve
well,
Marino, and Billy
I'm
Lane.
talking about on the hillside.
On the hillside, we
that's
were
all,
very
that's
few.
all there was.
Very few. Very few.
Who would y'all say that y'all wish that you could have worked with that you didn't work with yet?
Well, to answer that question, I thought we rubbed elbows with some names. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
I've
talking-
rubbed elbows with Bobby, beautiful Bobby. Oh man, loved that boy to death. But as far as being his father-in-law, I couldn't stand his father-in-law. and I ain't gonna bring no names up. People out there in radio land know who I'm talking about. Beautiful Bobby Eaton was the best worker that I ever worked in my life. He knew my moves, and I definitely knew his, and loved the man to death. I would have went to the end of the earth with him. Handsome Jimmy, I loved that man to death. He taught me so much, and it just goes on and on. It's just hard to just name one person because where I've been around several people. You know what I mean?
Bobo Brazil was
Bobo
the same,
Brazil,
was the
Bobo
same
Jr.
size. He was the same size as Andre the Giant. That man was huge. Donnie picked him up one time, took him to a show. Hell, I'm in the back. That's all we had room for. I didn't even have room to sit there.
Bobo Jr., I
He
love
took
that
up half
man
that
to death.
seat.
Bobo Jr., Deputy Dog.
Deputy Dog. There's a name you ain't heard in a while.
JYD.
Yep.
Yeah,
I loved him. Loved that man.
It's just hard to just
Crusher Bones.
crush your bone. I
Good
mean, our
one.
names can just keep coming. You know what I'm saying?
Crusher Bones and Deputy Dog saved my life because I needed one more match at the Tattersall building that night, and the Wall and Crowbar was there, and I had to have one more match, and I called them, and they come out of
Louisville.
out of Louisville, and was there before their match hit. That's the kind of bond we had back then.
Well, you're talking about he saved your life. He literally saved my life one night in Jackson,
really
down in Harlan and Jackson. You remember that, huh?
There's a whole different
Yes, I
story.
know exactly what you get ready to tell.
Now, back in the day, it didn't matter what the gimmick was as long as it got heat.
That's right.
And some gimmicks got more heat than others.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I just happened to pull one of those gimmicks. A lot of people out there, they'll probably start chiming in when I start talking about this. But
Here it comes.
the name of the gimmick was Sweet Cheeks the Pink Pussycat. And I am not one bit of ashamed to say that I pulled this gimmick because I got more heat just by walking out the curtain than most of the other guys did on the entire card working their tails off.
They just wanted your ass whipped. That's
They
all.
just wanted it. But Deputy Dog, I had made some guy, I think we were in Hazard, going to Harlan the next
Was
night.
it?
We were doing Harlan one night and Hazard the next. I don't
Okay.
know which
Okay.
it was. But this gentleman, he came from one town over to Hazard to watch us wrestle. And I just pushed his buttons as doing the Sweet Cheeks gimmick. And to the point that this man went out to the truck and got a gun
Oh man.
and was trying to shoot me.
Oh, that's
If it
that's
had not-
natural down there.
Yep.
But if it had not been for Deputy Dog, God rest his soul, love that man to death. Yeah, he put a gun on my back at night and escorted me out of that building as a police officer,
Yeah.
and literally saved my life that night.
Right.
That's the camaraderie I'm talking about. The family
That's
that
right.
we had back in the day.
Right.
These young guys wouldn't know nothing about that,
No,
right?
no. There's a difference out there. That's what I'm saying. Around there, the organizations over the years, I don't care who you are. I've worked many of shows beyond this time. But there's a difference between Bond then than he is now. And maybe it's just my age is catching me. They may have the same bond, but it's not the same bond. It's not. It's not. That's just my opinion.
To me, it's a different world.
And I tell you, there's a difference in around the ring. Yeah, I mean, around the ring itself. I mean, you can talk to people and the fans all well. This was my fan. This was my, okay. I'm glad you got a fan.
Raymond Hunley said, Uncle Tommy, I got a question for you. What about you and my dad breaking the ring in Frankfort, Kentucky?
Right. Yes, I remember him. I'm going to tell you about this. This was, I don't remember if it was the ring broke, Dan. What he's talking about, if I ain't mistaken, is when Dale Bass actually promoted a show down there in Frankfurt. I believe you was involved there, Gunn. That's when they had the police officers, regular police officers, And we didn't smarten them up at all. And
Different show, Unc. That show with the police officers was for Big Al. That was KCW. He's talking about when we run down on Wilkerson Street, when the MWA.
Oh,
Yeah, that's when we brought Harris and them into
Harris
the
and
Wilkerson Street.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And the ring got broken.
Well, yeah, that's a wooden ring too.
It takes a lot of force to break a wooden ring.
No.
No.
Back then it didn't.
Oh, it didn't?
It's just how you.
I mean, they were big people, but nowadays
That wasn't there. It wasn't.
I don't see the size in it anymore.
Right.
I mean, hell, it looks like no bigger than a little bowl.
Yeah, there's guys that's way smaller.
And wearing a heavyweight strap.
Yeah,
Okay, that'll work.
I've seen a couple of them like that.
But I can tell you, when he was doing the pussycat gimmick, I said, nephew, you got to get rid of that gimmick. You're going to kill yourself or get killed once. He said, well, I'm going to name myself Machine Gun Tommy.
Tommy the Machine Gun.
Yeah, Tommy Machine Gun. I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. And so that's how he got Tommy Gun. That's where, no, you're not doing no Machine Gun, Tommy Gun, or. So, yeah, that's where that got done.
Oh, wait. He's talking about you and Tommy Gunn.
No,
Me and
Tuppy.
Tommy Gunn. That's what Raymond just said. He said, talking about Tuppy and Tommy Gunn.
That's when he done the big superplex. That's when he superplex. That was one of the. You were talking about rivals.
Yep.
Who was the best rival and everything? By far, hands down, Tuffy. Me and Tuffy, we battled up and down the road. Just about every show you've seen me and him on, it was me and him in there.
Right.
Great guy.
But you couldn't put neither one of them on a mic, so you had to put somebody.
Well, hey, that's why
They
we
didn't
were.
have to do no mics.
That's why we were good in the one hole. That's why we were great in the one hole. You
Right.
didn't
That's
have
right.
You couldn't let them watch TV neither, 'cause they always want to duplicate.
That's true.
Boys, it's going to get you killed.
Well, we got to show that we were still young and we could run with them young boys.
Well, you can now.
Huh?
I mean, we still can.
Well, I do, but my scooter only goes so fast.
And it would still outdraw most of the young guys. Hey, speaking of young guys, we had Nate Lardy actually tune in. Nate Lardy is a young guy that worked for legendary Larry D. Still works for him for Generation X Pro Wrestling. He's another guy that understands to let the fans register what you're doing instead of trying to move to spot after spot.
Right.
That shows that he's also one of those guys that's committed to learning what you guys are all about.
Right. And I don't mind talking to people. I love talking to these new star people who wants to be new stars. I don't care. I can talk to you all day long.
Yep.
But I got to prove to you. Because when you get my age, you done all your spots, 1,700 spots, and the match is not over. Bull crap.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like Georgetown. I said I was up there for 20 years. How many finishes do you think they've seen? Every Sunday night. I mean,
They didn't see it as much as they did.
and Georgetown was there way before we even showed up. Matter of
That's
fact,
true.
I remember sitting in the crowd.
Oh, Cliff Lilly.
And that's Jim and Jim
That man
Chadwick
right there had
there.
a gift. That's a gift right there. That man right there.
Yep, because he outshined even the ECW guy
Yes.
because the guy asked him,
Right.
who wrote your material? Nope, it's right off this.
That was on my show over at
Yep.
the Tattersall building. They said, we need somebody can run with, who was that? On the ECW.
Trying to remember his name.
Anyhow, yeah, it's left me. But anyhow, I said, I've got the person. And I said, Gentleman Jim Chadwick. He looked at me and said, Bobby, we've got top-notch professionals out here. And he laughed at me.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wrong thing to do because I never cared for this man
Look,
anyhow.
look.
But anyhow, we went out there, and I went in the dressing room, and I told him, I said, boy, he's done pissed me off. I want you all to go out here. I don't want an ass in that seat sitting. I want these people standing only. And whoever don't, I'll never speak to again.
That's father
As a
and
matter
son
of
right
fact,
there under
Bear-
the mask.
Bear Seal couldn't catch his breath. I think it was Bear or Al. Couldn't catch his breath at the door because he was having jitters. But anyhow, when they hit the ring, there was never an ass on that seat. And then that's when Jim come back. And Ian Rotten, I think it was, he had the microphone. And he said, Jim, do you have anything to say? And Jim took the microphone and talked for 30 minutes, didn't say the first or two words the same. And that's when he asked him, he said, where did you get your material? He said, I've got it right here in top of his head. He said, I write no material.
That's right.
That man right there he's a gift.
There will never be a manager like Jim Chadwick.
Right.
That's
Not
right.
to his caliber. You know, and I'm not taking anything away from the greats like Jimmy Hart and Jimmy Cornette.
Or
you
Bobby
know,
Brain Heenan.
Bobby Heenan, none of them. They were all excellent too. There will never be a Jim Chadwick, another Jim Chadwick.
Because that man didn't write down his material. It was always up here. It was off the cuff.
Right.
Came to mind, he'd speak it.
He was the greatest of all times.
And that's what sets him apart from the managers of old school and also today's managers. Because even though there was greats like Jimmy Hart, Bobby Brain Heenan, Paul Heyman, Jim Cornette, all them,
You know what
they
the
just
difference,
wasn't Jim
You
Cornette.
know what the difference is back then? All them names you was saying, if it wasn't off the head, and they messed up, and dang it, I missed this spot because they told me to say this, to say that. You don't have to. I didn't miss a spot. How many times you ever seen it? And it's happened to every one of us that's been in the ring. Damn it, I missed a spot. Don't worry about that spot, because that spot's going to fill in eventually. Guarantee it.
And like they say, you adapt on the fly when you're out there.
Exactly. And that's the reason we never did in the dressing room. I tell you right now, Gunn will tell you, Bobby will tell you, I never took the first, okay. They'll say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Okay. Didn't do half them damn spots. They even told me bullshit.
Yep.
I mean, it is
But
what
see,
it is.
Back in that day, I would line this talent up with anybody in the country. And we've been on the road a long time. And there is not a match, anybody that stepped in that square in them days that I wouldn't put up against anybody.
Exactly. I mean, I've heard a story a couple months back with Chris Hayes and them. They was big time talent from all these big league companies on TV that came to try to put their wrestlers up against the MWA.
Right.
And it was the NWA wrestlers that sold the house out more
Right.
and the crowd off their feet.
It's one
Because
thing.
they
I
got-
I would book them against anybody in the country, and I told them that sitting flat-footed. I mean, there is nobody that I wouldn't. Even Tommy Gunn here, I would go to hell and back because I know what this one can do, and I know what they could do back then, and there's no comparison. And
Exactly.
I'm not patting ourselves on the back, but I'm telling you, we built that business right there out of the sweat of our brow.
Exactly.
But we learned from the old school, too. Old school, I'm telling you, the difference is before we even started. I mean,
It's got to start with respect.
right. It is what it is. I mean, I can't make it no plainer.
We asked questions.
I mean,
who asked the old hands that?
Johnny Walker, that was one of the great old men. I mean, we're talking old people. He was called the Hangman, what he was years ago. I mean, I learned from the old school.
Back then, it was Eric Emery, Sam Bass. Ben Rossi.
I just can't go so many farther back. I mean,
Lou Thez. The Lou Thez. We're talking back
That's
in the
right.
40s now.
old people.
Yeah, old
I mean,
school.
they how'd they learn? You see what I'm saying? They didn't have this dressing room style.
You got to pass the torch.
That's how we learned. Sure, we didn't speed up the left. We didn't speed you up right because we didn't want you to learn. Because actually, I'm going to tell you, Joe, Lou Fayez, I tell you what, when I broke that hickory stick across his back, he said, now you're learning.
But see, back then, George Jones sung the song.
Right.
Who's going to fill their shoes?
Right.
And that is a big pair of shoes to fill. I'm telling you that.
Well, just telling you from one of the guys that learned from you guys, they didn't want you to learn it all.
Exactly.
We
You
didn't
know,
want you to because you expected us more, and even more now than I did. If I'd have showed you everything, you'd have went on to the next guy.
Yeah, it wasn't and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything about these seminars.
Right.
We didn't have seminars back when I broke into the business.
Yeah.
Right.
We learned in the ring.
Right.
Or
On the gut.
on the gut, go over to somebody's house for a cookout, and then the next thing you know, there's a battle royal out in the backyard. 'Cause
Yeah.
It just breaks out.
Right.
But that's where we learned.
We didn't need no ring.
You were learning on the fly.
We've actually done a few shows without some rings
That was,
before in the
that was
past.
vacation going to them ropes.
And sometimes you don't even need the ring because if you can work the crowd, you can work the crowd without a ring.
Bingo.
Where was we when Cecil's ring didn't show up?
Well, that was what was that? That was in
We wound up
National Guard
working.
Armory in Lexington, wasn't it?
May have been, and we wound up working on gym mats.
On a damn gym mat.
In the
Sure
floor.
did. And I said, are you kidding me?
The show will go on.
That's right.
That's right. The show will go
And they
on.
looked at me, they
There is
said-
no quit.
They looked at me, and I was calling spots at the time. Are you kidding me? No ring.
But
And
anymore, that
Ah,
they want to do this high fly out of rafters with a triple somersault, double shimaki off
Yeah.
the top rope, and I have no idea where in this world this comes from. But it's TV. It's killing them.
Yeah, and it's stupid because they don't know that in wrestling you need to slow it down so that the fans can at least invest in what
well,
you're doing.
they don't want to get too slow.
Yeah.
Believe me,
Not
they,
too
they
slow.
don't need to go too much slower.
Well, I was going to say, you talking about going slow and all the high flying. I'm a big guy, but I done a little bit of that high flying
yeah,
too.
yeah,
We
yeah.
do it too.
Yeah.
Down there in Chatsworth,
Oh Lord.
No,
Several
it wasn't there.
Chatsworth, Georgia.
Yeah.
In
I was there.
Cynthiana, he done it too. In the gyms, off the.
But this ceiling wasn't no higher than this down there in Chatsworth, and he's still doing
That is true.
a double red-breasted double shimaki off the top rope.
But
I'm
that's
not against
impressive.
the spots, but you can't run. You can't hit a man with a swanton 5 times in the wrestling ring.
And expected when him get up and walk away.
You know what I mean?
And him kick out.
It's like you can't hit a pile driver and then the guy
Kick
kicks
out.
out because if he does,
How many
that's
times that
possibly
happened?
kick,
Well-
that's been ruined.
Yeah, you can kick out.
Yeah.
I bet you don't kick out the second time.
Yeah.
Back in my day,
Yeah.
Nowadays
you're definitely going to feel it.
you're kicking out 3 times inside the match after a pile driver.
And you didn't kick out. I'm telling you right now, I'm tagging.
And
Yep.
And I guarantee
And I
you,
guarantee you, and I get in
you
there,
will sell.
you won't kick out the next one. I'll
Yep.
promise you that.
Because the pile driver is supposed to be the move that
I'll promise
puts you away.
that. Right.
at the tap out match.
We used to do the old bulldog, and
I did
Donnie
that to
would do
Frankie
the
Bell down there in
bulldog.
London.
Huh?
I did that to Frankie Bell down there in London. He said, "Oh shit!" I said, "Come on, live one more time."
No, what it was is always, that was the Green's finish was do the bulldog, bam, and let Donnie come off the top. And Donnie don't come off the top, so he has to get on the second rope and do the splash on. And it's a 1, 2, 3. That's how we used to book Koozie years ago. That's the way our big finish was.
Exactly. That's how the big finish used to be.
I mean, and it didn't need to be swanton 17 times over the top. And
Back then,
if you kicked out,
if you couldn't beat them, you burn them.
Yep.
if you kicked out there, and I'd say, Donnie, what are you gonna do?
Beat 'em, you burn 'em.
Head
That
load
flame
that
was good.
boot. Head
You can't
load.
beat them, you burn them.
Head load them
Yep.
boots, buddy. I guarantee you one thing: you will
We
get
got-
your ass whooped.
We got Al Still here. He said, scariest moment ever was I put Big Donnie's cowboy hat on, and when he
Tell him,
see me
that's
whip
Bobby.
it.
Read that again. That's Bobby.
Yeah.
And how long did it take him to get out of it, too?
He said, scariest moment ever was I put
Hey,
legendary
look,
Bobby Green.
I told him, I said, get that damn hat off. He looked like a deer in headlights when they're
Yep. and he said, take my damn hat off now. Hand it straight to the ref. Good times. Love all you guys. Tommy Gunn, thanks for the song, number 1.
Number 1, that's Jim Chadwick there. Me and him, I remember that first night I knew Jim was even coming out to that song. We showed up on the same show, and Jim played his music to cut a promo at the beginning of the show, and I looked at him, I was like, wait a minute, I thought I was in the 4th hole. They said, no, that's Jim. I was like, uh-oh, we got a problem. I said, somebody needs to loan me a CD. I don't have a song.
That's what we did.
That was easy. When I kicked on Rocky Top, how many times we did play it before I get in the ring?
That's just because you got lost.
I know. Everybody loved Rocky Top, and that's what I was going to play in Richmond if I'd have played down there the
Is
other
that
night.
Chris Michaels and what is
Yes,
that?
that's who it is. That's who it is.
Sean. Is
Yep.
it Sean?
Yeah,
Casey?
Sean Casey.
Sean Casey.
Yeah,
Al
The
Still said
strippers.
good stuff.
good strippers. That's who them was.
Yeah.
You know who it was under the mask?
Heck yeah.
Is that Todd Morton?
No.
No.
Oh. Nah, I don't know. It
Which
could be
Sean?
Todd Moon.
Is that Sean and Todd?
Yeah. That's who I'm thinking it is.
And
But,
back then, the belts that the MW had, even though they weren't like today's belts, they meant something.
Right.
Like Bob Blaze said, he didn't want nothing more than had the NWA's championship because it meant something.
The years that Dale Mann carried that heavyweight strap, he carried it for years. Donnie Green goes out this night. He wins that belt. They shut Georgetown down next week. He didn't go back. So there you go. I mean, nobody took that strap off Dale Mann.
It made them furious when Dale Mann lost the title to Donnie Green.
Yep. Pretty much.
That shows you how much it meant, though,
I
but
know,
also
David,
how
that's
much Dale
something,
Mann
though.
meant.
Right.
And look at Gentleman Chadwick back then. He had the black hair, but he was still working even when he was at the Comtane booth.
Yes.
And as soon as he said that he wanted to be a manager, you knew it was game on, because as soon as he became manager, he blew him away. That's something that today's people need to understand. Study Gentleman Jim Chadwick if you want to be a manager. Study these old school wrestlers. You got plenty of footage. Bob Blade has it all up there on his channel.
Right.
And Del Bass has loaned his CDs to him.
Right.
All this right here. You see this? This is what y'all can find, because you got Tom Gunn here. And Tom Gunn, what would you say would be your all-time favorite finish that you've ever been involved in?
My all-time favorite finish that I was ever involved in. Well, there's so many of
That's
them.
what I was getting ready to say.
Well, here's the thing. That's the glory of being Tommy Gunn. Even
Yep.
though I may be world famous, I didn't have to worry about all those because I never was the main event, which I liked. Not that I couldn't have been
I
main
hated
event.
the main event.
I didn't want to be the main event. I liked being that show starter.
Yeah.
I liked being the one that set that pace for everybody. You know, ask Donnie Green next time you talk to him how he felt when he followed Tommy and Tuffy. You know, it's not that we were better than them, because there's by no way am I saying we were better than them, but we started a pace. And that's what these shows lack nowadays. They don't. Everybody wants to be that spotlight.
Right.
Yeah.
No storylines. It's
Guess
solid
what?
Spots.
Spotlight hurts my eyes.
Right.
Exactly.
Mainly because I'm looking at it most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on my back laying at that, looking at that ceiling.
Scott Storm, we had to teach him a lot of stories.
Oh, Anthony Presley.
Yes, that's one kid. I can remember when he first started. I was like, Scott, slow your ass down. Slow down. And it took him a few times, but after he worked me, then he realized, wait a minute, this match has done gone on 10 minutes, and I ain't done 10 minutes worth of work. But I slowed him down. It's the rhythm. I had to work the crowd to make the rhythm work. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I mean, that's way, like I said, all them spots you make, if you ain't working that crowd, what the hell does that spot mean?
Exactly.
Not a damn thing.
Especially not doing 10 moves within the span of 10 minutes.
Right.
About those fans knows because
And they're going to forget it. Because
Exactly.
you're never going to remember is the beginning and the finish.
Because
period.
think about this, all these guys that do high flying stuff, they don't realize the fans ain't gonna remember you doing that swanton bomb outside the ring.
No.
They're gonna remember what you did at the beginning.
If you broke your neck,
and
they're going
the
to
end.
remember that part.
Yeah, that's the only thing they'll remember.
That's the only thing. Oh, yeah, he got packed out with an ambulance. You know?
Exactly, because
Because
they're
he
doing
done
something that they don't
stupid.
understand that the fans won't remember.
Right. So I slowed Scott Storm down. There's so many. I mean, I just had to keep slowing them down.
Rooster used to work with him quite a bit in Mississippi.
Scott Storm.
I think it was Scott Storm.
Right.
Yep.
They said they had dynamite houses out there.
They did. But he learned from me. I mean, there's so many people that they got in there and doing the bump bullshit.
Yeah.
Ashton Steele's, Larry, Al, Bear, every one of them, I slowed them down because I worked the crowd first. The crowd's who I'm working. I don't care about who I'm working in the ring.
Bro.
There's Big Donnie.
Oh, Lord.
How'd that come out?
Yeah, it's right here.
Look.
On this channel right here.
Look, there's Bobby.
It's right here at 1995.
Where in the world you come up with this and that?
A Bobby Blades channel.
Bobby Blades channel.
I bet I get wore out in this. And Donnie still ain't strapped.
That's true.
I bet they strapped my look at the strut on that.
Yep. And look at, for those that don't know, we're watching old school classic NWA, and right now we got Bobby Green and Donnie Green in there. Big Bobby and Big
That might
Donnie.
be the strap match I was talking about a while ago.
Oh man, with the paying with the bull rope.
Yeah.
Oh no. And y'all take y'all's time. Y'all's working that crowd. The crowd's into it.
No, I was trying to get Donnie to work, but he didn't want to work.
He didn't want to get strapped.
I'm the one who had to do all the work.
And
I
right
thought
now,
I was just there to look pretty.
Oh, we're getting tied there. You're all getting tied there.
yep.
Strap. I bet you that's Fargo.
And right now the referee's got the strap inside the ring.
I think it was Danny's.
It is.
But you were mentioning Rooster earlier. They all say Rooster could have been one of the greats if he didn't use the green name. They felt like Rooster
Yeah.
Green.
Yeah.
They say that if he didn't use the green name, he could have been farther than even Donnie Green and Lil Bobby.
But don't believe that because that just works in TV. It don't work in real life.
That's true. But I will say that I've gotten to know Donnie Green very well. He's an honest man.
Yeah.
Very honest.
Yeah. I got
But guess what, Daddy?
wife to say you too.
Guess what his daddy's ring name was?
What was it?
Honest Donnie Green. That's his dad.
Yeah.
Big Donnie's name. That's what
That was his name.
Yeah. Honest Donnie Green. Was it not?
See, they're gonna strap brother first. I'm gone.
Yep.
Now see how long that lasted, right?
Yep.
Now who's stuck?
Oh no. And now, trying to prevent getting strapped up. Referee's trying to make them strap up. Just holding that strap and following them around like, you gotta do it. You're the only ones out here that can do it.
No, we wasn't the only ones could do it. We was the only one talked into it.
Yeah.
And
Oh man.
I didn't want to
ones.
do it.
And the strap matches ain't no joke either.
No. Hell no. There ain't no fence around that way.
Exactly. And the straps themselves, they don't feel
They're
too
for
crazy.
real. They're for real.
No,
Yep.
they're real.
A lot of people don't
That's
understand.
that, not that. I get
Yes.
stuck in a many of them.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I'm thinking that was the night that
But you got to do them in the holidays
We
in
will.
order to make it fun.
Jeff Rowe, and
I thought it was Daddy
I'm
Parker.
thinking it's Jed, cousin Jed.
It could be. Wait a minute, I'll find
After
out.
she got rest his soul.
But now, Psycho Sam, I remember him.
Oh, wait a minute now.
That's X.
That's
Oh,
X.
that's X.
There he is,
That's
X.
X.
That's who it was. It
That
was
is.
Jeff
That's
Rowe
X
and
at
I thought it
Aftershock.
was cousin. I thought it was cousin.
OX
Well,
got
that-
the strap up.
That was Donnie's partner. I had Jeff Rowe.
Yep. Oh, Aftershock.
That's who it was. Yeah, I remember that night now. That was a mess.
And they're ready. They're ready. I don't think that Red X knows that if he got strapped, he might not be too ready. But right now, him and Jeffro's being strapped together versus Bobby and Donnie. I mean, look at this. Y'all taking your time. The fans are look how excited the fans are. There ain't been one moment where the fans haven't been. Oh, look, someone's flipping off.
It's
Letting
working
them
the
know.
house. Oh, they loved us though. They loved to hate
Yep.
us.
And
But that
that's
was
the point.
that was all toward Donnie. That wasn't toward me.
Yeah, they like legendary Bobby Green.
They loved you, didn't they?
Yeah, that was all Donnie.
You were the love part of the love and hate.
And now both of y'all are climbing outside the ring. Meanwhile, Red X and Jeffro is still inside the ring. They're asking what are they doing?
Well, we're
You
talking.
gotta put the straps on them.
And that's big old Murphy right there. That's security. I used to love him to death when the crowd got heavy.
When they get to choking you out.
Yeah, he stays right there beside me.
Charity George Rowell said, "Is that one sitting beside Tommy Green the next generation of Green?"
The fourth generation.
Boy.
That's my dad
Yep.
and mom.
Asking if you will be the next generation. He says yes.
No, that's the next strap wearer. He'll be wearing the strap. He won't be working. They be working for him.
That's true. But yeah, that answers your question. But we're watching this right now. They ain't even put the strap. There ain't been nothing that's happened yet. They're
And
just
look who
working the
fans
crowd.
are out. Where's the crowd at?
The crowd's getting excited. They're still on their feet. They're watching. They ain't moved once.
But the thing is, we done burnt 20 minutes.
Yep.
Right there, that's the way to work the crowd.
Yep. And the fans that ain't.
And
ain't
I'll
left
tell
at
you
all.
what, how many times they used to say, don't play his song because it takes him forever to get in the ring. Because we ain't got but this time to get out of this building.
Exactly.
How many times have you heard that in the back? Quit playing his damn song.
See, we ain't even broke sweat.
Exactly. Y'all ain't worked. There ain't been a move thrown. There ain't been a punch thrown.
There ain't been nothing.
Y'all
I mean,
just working the crowd. You're taking your time. Even Red X is taking his time.
That's the
Jeffro.
reason. That's the reason Georgetown was wrapped in people.
I'll be there right now. That damn rope hurt. How many times did he yank on me? It wouldn't be a rope. It was a damn chain that
Hell,
night
that's
that
what
he
that
done
is.
me.
That's what that is. That's a Texas chain.
Yeah. Boy, they
Yep.
jerk on me and damn, pulling on me. They pinch hide on me.
And right now the crowd's still into
Now
it.
see, Donnie had eggs. I had Jeffro.
Yep.
I love Jeffro to death.
And yeah, Red X right there.
He's
working
another
it,
great one.
trying to pull.
Gone way too
Yes.
soon.
Yes.
Oh look, we got Nice Guy Andy back.
I'm back.
What's up, Andy?
But
Watching
now
Scrap Man.
watch the phone. Now that was illegal.
Yep.
That was illegal. Jethro shouldn't act like that.
Red X is beating on
No,
Donnie Green.
He should. Now look, he's choking right there. That's illegal.
Yep.
But we got blamed for all that.
But look where the referee's at.
Yeah.
The referee's on the outside. He's like,
I wanted to be out there where he was.
and you're being choked. You reach the referee like, ref, can't you see what he's doing is wrong?
Yeah. No, that's what I told you. Tim and Bass, they were blind as a bat.
Yep. They were, because they've not yet noticed that you were being choked out by the strap.
Yeah.
And now Donnie Green's being yanked back in hard by Ray X.
Like we want to be in there.
Yeah.
Dragging us in there like we belong there.
Made y'all be the ones to do the strap match. And there goes Ray X dropping down with the fist drop.
But we had him on the run.
Yep. now look at him. He's dragging you like that with the strap. He's being disrespectful.
Yes. I tried to tell him that.
He knew that you were legendary and he was doing all that to you.
But now it's over.
Yep.
Bubby helped you right there. Bubby helped you.
And look at that.
I helped X. I was helping him up.
Yep. And the crowd has not died down once. They're still excited. Y'all killed about 20 minutes to begin the match.
With
And-
no advertising.
Exactly.
And no
Look-
big bumps.
Look at the house. None.
No, we ain't doing no 9 bound.
No sweat. Nothing.
Exactly. And look, Red
But
X
they loved to get there every Sunday night.
Red X gave Donnie Green a hug
Yeah.
just now outside corner.
You see how long that lasted, don't you?
Yep, tough love.
That was a serious hit right there. I'm telling you what Bubby hit.
Yeah, when Donnie hit you, he was cross-eyed.
It's hurting his hand right now. I'm telling you right now, that shit hurts.
When Donnie was cross-eyed, he couldn't see nothing when he
Yeah.
hit you.
And that strap is a chain.
Yeah, it's chain lick.
You can't fake it being hit with a chain.
It shit and pinches the shit out of your arm, bud. I'm here to tell you.
Damn, you realize that was over 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Hold your time, then one.
Well,
Yep.
How old are you now?
And look at this. The crowd is still on their feet. They're enjoying this because y'all didn't have to do too much.
No, we can't. You hooked the damn chain.
And even if it pinched your
Yeah,
arm,
pinched shit out of your
you still had to do it because even if it's hurting,
Oh,
Yeah.
the
you
show
ain't-
must go on.
You
Yeah.
ain't going far.
Now,
And y'all didn't even have to do much. All y'all did was y'all killed time at the beginning of the match, and then when the match finally starts,
Right.
y'all still were killing time.
right.
And then when it finally did kick off, the
You
crowd
can't-
is still
you
there
can't do
on their feet.
anything. You can't do anything anyway because you only got a 8-foot chain on you.
And
Yep.
Right after that match, we got a attaboy.
Yep. And y'all worked it good too, cause look at that, cause Jeff Rowe and Ray X are down, and y'all are the only one standing.
And the thing about back in is we weren't on TV.
No.
This isn't on TV.
No.
If you wanted one of these, you had to go to the show and take
Right.
it
Now,
yourself.
if you
Exactly.
So we had to tell that story and keep them there every single week without TV.
Right.
So it wasn't like the guy at home that missed this week's show knows what's going on
And
unless we get his buddy over here hyped enough that he goes back and goes, dude, this
Uh-oh,
is what you
Bubba got
missed.
that boot on. You getting
And-
your ass whooped there.
And if it was on TV, buckle up.
Well, yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I seen this on TV. Watch this.
And y'all did this without even having to advertise. Y'all had that small piece of where people could look, and y'all were drawing this packed house
Yeah.
every Sunday.
Everything.
Watch them get up with it. Watch them get up. And it ain't all them 19 bumps yet, have you? Huh?
Exactly.
See,
You talk about
Donnie
no
still got
average.
that boot off.
Yeah.
And he's using it on him, too.
That boot hurts. I ain't a bullshitting you. That's I ain't got mine on tonight. When he pulled that boot off, yeah, you're getting your ass hacked.
Exactly.
I couldn't get my boot off. I had to get out of there.
Now, you had your lace-ups that night.
Your wife Brenda said the Tater Saw show was a killer show with local
Did y'all win that match?
boys.
No, they walk out.
Well,
It's a
yeah, we
walkout.
won that match.
Yeah, they did.
It's a count
I'm
out.
telling you,
Oh, y'all left.
Says count out.
that's
Says
all we
count.
see back then, is the bottom of the boots.
Out there, he count y'all out. Y'all did everything fair. Y'all won the match.
He
Hey.
couldn't. He just said if he could count the tens.
Now, see, Bass turned
How
right
do you win a
around.
strap match like that? How do you win that match?
You don't. You post a pin.
You supposed
Yeah,
Supposed to be
pin.
a pin, Bob.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? You don't remember how you supposed to? You supposed
Yeah.
to have done what you did?
It hurt like hell. But
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm here to tell you, having a chain instead of a regular strap, that's gonna hurt like a son of a bitch too.
that's a long chain.
Yep.
That's heavy, I'm sure.
Yo, it
Yeah.
is.
And it
is.
pinches
it's
you,
just
too.
like what you pull a car with. It's
Yeah.
the kind of chain it is, and it's 8 foot long.
And look at the crowd too. Even though the match is ended, the crowd is on their feet. There ain't really people trying to leave. There's people trying to see
Yeah.
what's going
They're
to
trying to
happen.
leave, and what they're going to try to find out what's going to happen next week.
Yep.
So they're going out the front door. That's the last one.
And then you see Jeff Bro. He's hitting the ring. He's mad. Right, exits out there. The fans are looking at them. They're
See,
looking at the
they're
entrance
mad at
ramp.
us. They're mad at the Greens because they walked out.
And we got an attaboy, too.
Yep. Because y'all work the crowd. That's something that today's generation needs to take notice of, because this is how you work the fans.
I wish they would work like that back
Yeah, because
now.
There is a difference. I'm telling you, just like I said, there's rules has changed.
hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
But
Hi,
yeah, the
Mom.
rules have changed. Like, there wasn't any rule against going over the barricade back then.
Right.
Because if you do go over the barricade, it is what it is. If
Right.
you're either going to be whooping on fans, you're going to be whooping on each other
Well,
at the
I
same
mean-
time.
I mean, we knew to stay within our rights.
Yeah.
And if we were out beyond that point,
The fans knew to
the fans knew.
stay away.
But that's another point. You never seen us hit no spectators. You never seen us get
'Cause we
out
spect-
in the crowd, because,
We respected them like they respected us.
I mean, really,
Yep.
if that rope is going to hold them back, hell, they didn't want to get up there anyhow.
Exactly. And also, if there was someone stupid enough to come over that barricade or try
They
to
get
fight,
their ass whooped.
yep,
Yeah.
They're gonna
because
get their ass whooped.
in the rules of the old saying,
Right.
you step over that barricade,
Yeah.
you're fair game.
Right.
That's-
You've now made
where-
yourself part of
Right.
it.
That's where you do your walking and you talking.
That's right.
That's where I used to line them up and tell them duck under.
That's
And
right.
When I hit them, I ain't playing games.
Yeah, because they
if
deserve
I
it.
didn't, they was gonna hit me straight up.
But
Exactly.
But the more times I was called some of a bitch out there, the better I liked it, because I was doing my job.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But those are the same people. If you see them outside, they come up and shake your hand.
Yeah.
You did a hell of a match.
Right.
Exactly.
I've caught so many people away from wrestling, and they go, "Yes, I know who you are. Yes, I remember you. Loved you. Y'all brought the real wrestling back, or loved when you done this, done that." So, and I remembered you. And 9 out of 10 times is like, well, if you wore this jacket out there, they are recognize the jacket. They don't know who you are, but they remember you.
Yep.
When you, cause you came with that shiny jacket, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? There's always something different at every wrestling show that you ever go to.
I mean, there's a recent example. You were at the EWA show. Those MWA fans that were out there inside the crowd, they remembered you specifically when they heard the name Tommy Green.
Right.
And they were coming up and they were giving you hell the whole
yeah.
time.
Oh yeah, because they know who I was.
And even after the show, you had the MWA fans staying there just to jab or jaw with you.
Back then, you didn't. Your high spots was coming to the ring and going away from the ring.
Yeah.
They didn't know what was going on in that ring. They had no idea by next Sunday what happened in that squared circle. Is when you come to the ring and leave the ring, that's your high spots back then.
Exactly.
That's
Like
what they're
I've
gonna
always
remember.
said, they love to hate us. I could have been the world's worst hated because they loved to been hating on me, but they knew my game. When I turned from being a bad guy to a clean guy, I asked Jimmy, I said, what have I got to do? He said, don't never change nothing. Do the same thing. And actually, I'm telling you, Gunn is sitting right there, he'll tell you, I would go to, how many times you ever seen a green carry a chain in his pocket? All the time, right?
Every time.
All the time. And how many fans would be sitting around that ring handing me a chain when I'm getting my hind end kicked?
I know one of them had a bullwhip.
So
And the
that's what I'm
bullwhip
saying.
hurts like a son
So
bitch.
Jimmy Valiant didn't change me. He just said, use it. And I'm telling you, the athletic commissioner changed it. They wouldn't let me. I mean, I literally had a guy bring a motorcycle chain. He had it around his waist that one night. And next thing I know, he handed it to me. It's illegal to have that damn thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, right?
I was up in Georgetown, and we was working Johnny Reeves and Danny Fargo. Danny would back me up in all four corners, and he'd chop me. He's got a chop on him will bring blood to your ass.
Oh, man.
Not me.
I counted every finger he had.
Not me.
Yeah.
No.
I said,
You
brother,
ain't chopping me.
he's trying to hurt me.
Oh, man.
So I locked up. He said, bring his ass over here. So I backed his ass. I said, go to the corner. And his back that big ass up. Donnie'd hold him, I'd fire his. I had no idea how the hell to chop, but I learned.
Yeah. That's one thing. Forget a bunch of chops.
No, you ain't chopping me.
Exactly.
You're getting your ass whooped and you're getting hold of it. I'm going out there.
I wore them fingers all week.
Yep. Because a chop is one of the things that you're going to be feeling for
Yeah.
weeks.
And Danny was the world's best at chop.
Yeah. He used to love chop.
He'd bring that damn thing from Alabama.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tuffy loved to chop a man, too.
Yeah. We've heard so many stories about the Tuppy chop.
I was a legend back then. I didn't have to worry
You didn't have
about
to deal with
Tuffy.
all that.
No, he ain't chopping me. You're getting your ass whooped. I'm going out there after a chair.
I mean, I got Al out of my hat.
Yeah, but according to Tuppy, he never chopped nobody. He was the sweetest angel.
Yeah, he was.
He sat right there and he said, I didn't chop nobody.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about.
And he's been dropped on his head a few many times. If he don't remember
Like
those.
I know, right?
Just like I said, you believe that? I got an ex-wife to say.
Charity George said, not all fans because the Green's mama wasn't going to take anyone's crap who was hurting her boys.
And our daddy neither.
Exactly.
No, that's Bo's mom's who that was. Who bringing that up. And we already brought it up. Al would walk past Dad's wheelchair, and Dad have one leg.
Yep.
And he'd kick it, and I'd be walking behind him. Boy, and anybody walk behind Al or Barry the one would kick Dad's wheelchair. He'd get in the next one, Dad had Alzheimer's. Son, I'm telling you right now, you're getting your ass lit up.
That looked like Mom sitting right there in that second row.
It
Right
might
here
be.
With the back turned to us right here.
White hair.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Look at that, Bobby Blade yet again popping up. That's him with the sign.
Was that back in '95 too?
Let me look.
It had to be because Bobby's got hair.
This one's 96.
96. He still got hair.
I was going to say, it's got to be back in mid-90s.
Back when he had the
He
mullet.
start losing his hair.
And it's blonde.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's the reason you don't have hair today. Because He bleached it out.
That's what I was
Bleached
telling
and
him.
brushed.
yeah,
He
yeah,
did one of
right.
them corkscrews off that top rope right there. He was working somebody. I don't know.
I don't know if that's mom or not.
And
That
I
might
slid
be.
over and started talking to
That
him.
might be Mary's mom.
And he come off with that old off the wall bullshit. I had no idea where it was going. I had no idea what he was talking about. I said, y'all got to get him to a hospital. And he went and he had concussion.
Oh man.
How
And
long-
concussion
how long
ain't
did y'all stay
no
out for
joke.
Concussion back then.
Oh, it just,
Oh,
it-
you Sunday night you gotta be back.
You gotta be back by Sunday.
Yeah,
Yep.
you had to be back.
Now,
by
He
Sunday.
nowadays they're out for months and months.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah, in the old days.
we didn't teach you all that.
yeah, them
We didn't
concussions,
teach
that
you.
just built character.
Yep. And in the rules of the old
We
school.
didn't know what concussions actually was.
Concussions.
Those are just a big word that somebody mumbled.
I thought he said. I thought he said
That's another word
connection.
for being a puss, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
I
And
thought
also
it was another
got
word
a
for
headache?
connection.
back then, if you broke a finger, you broke a hand, you still had to work that match.
Yeah.
Right, right.
You're still gonna be working 20 minutes.
I had one of them cushions one time.
You talking about breaking hands? I wrestled in. Where were we? Because I was wrestling for you. There's me and Tony Johnson. I think we was in Cynthiana. And
Now he could draw.
I
I
done,
done.
we done a battle roll. I was the first man out of the battle roll, and I was the last man to leave the building because I was laying on the floor and I couldn't feel my legs.
Oh shit!
Oh
I had
yeah,
went paralyzed from
yeah.
the waist down because I got back dropped over the top rope.
Wow.
You had one of them cushions, didn't you?
Yeah, one of them cushions. The very next, I spent all night long in the hospital in Cynthiana. They shipped me to UK. I got out of UK at 6 o'clock that morning. At 1 o'clock that afternoon, I was sitting in Paris, Kentucky for Jeff Vickers wrestling another show.
Right.
And then we run Glensboro that Sunday.
Left that night and drove to Glensboro,
Glensboro
that day,
Sunday.
that evening, and wrestled another show in Glensboro that afternoon.
Right.
After
And then-
being
and then right after
hospitalized
that,
just the
you
night
remember,
before.
Oh yeah, I'm paralyzed.
Yeah.
No, I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him
working
till
for Jeff.
Sunday night on
I was
payoff
gonna say they
time.
didn't tell me
I
that.
wasn't working for Jeff. But
Working with Jeff and
Yeah.
for Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff was. It was gravy
legend,
working
right?
for. I loved working
Yep,
with Jeff.
Aftershock.
And for Jeff.
Aftershock.
Chief Aftershock.
But you got to realize we taught Jeff.
I was
Yeah,
going to say
yeah.
we were there when. I'm not saying I taught Jeff anything because we all got in the business at the same time.
Right.
But if you ever had the chance to talk to him about getting busted open,
Yeah.
I think one of the first matches he ever got busted open and bled in the middle of the ring was in Paris, Kentucky against Tommy Gunn.
So back then y'all could bleed.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, back then,
Well,
no,
it's not
no
like-
protocol.
It was, well, it is, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to have a reason
Yeah.
to bleed.
Yeah, you had to
couldn't
have
just go
reason.
out
I mean,
there
you
and say,
just
"Oh,
didn't bleed.
okay."
I think
you know.
the rule now is if you bleed, they
You got to go.
match.
You got to go.
Yeah, back
that's
then,
because of Axl
the only
Rotten.
rule you had, don't go over top rope.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
But you can
just-
bleed back there, and you can bleed. Back
Well, you
then
can bleed,
and finish
but
the
yes,
match.
you can. Yes.
If you actually
Right. If you
hard way
actually
broke open.
got busted open, actually got busted open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Danny Fargo, we cut him with a razor blade. I mean, with the
I got a scar right here. Danny Fargo gigged my ass right here.
we had barbed wire wrapped around that ring right there, and Joe Cagle was there that night, and it was just that's the way he worked, you know. Danny Fargo used to have big battle scars on top of his forehead, real bad battle scars.
Yeah, she had him.
One of the most
Cheeks
used
you
weapons
sell.
back in the day was a cheese grater.
Right.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
if you think you
Uh,
can get hit in the head
Abdullah
or
Bu-
face
the
with a
butcher
cheese
used
grater and
that.
not actually bleed, you know.
Right.
You know.
And
There's Johnny Reeves.
And the reason why Kentucky has such a strict law against blood anymore is because that I think it was Ian Rotten
Y'all,
because he had a IWA Mid-South and they
Right.
played so much here that
right.
Kentucky Mission was like,
Right.
nope, never
Did
again.
did y'all get to wrestle against Macho Man?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Macho
we
Man.
won't bring that story.
I was going to say, that would be them. That's
Yeah.
But we did
Yeah.
hear a really
I
funny
backed-
story
I
about
backed up the brother.
No, it wasn't. It
We
wasn't
did spot-
Macho Man.
We did a spot for him over there in Berea, Kentucky. And I kept telling him, I said, "Now, Randy, you're not going to shit on us."
So you was working for his. For
His daddy. His daddy. His daddy.
His Pablo.
So,
Yeah, Popolo.
Yeah.
all right, I was coming out in the first hole. and I was working.
So they were known not to pay you. They were known for the not paying guys.
well,
Kinda,
yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
That's the reason.
That's what the rumor
That's the reason I
is.
said don't shit on.
Yeah, don't shit on.
Yeah.
But he did.
Yeah.
But
You
anyway,
ain't allowed to say shit, did you, Bobby?
Hey, it's all right. On our
Y'all
show.
say, y'all can say whatever you want.
I'll
to
We're
say.
not
I'm just telling Bobby that.
I'll
I'm just-
take that word back here in a minute. But anyhow, I was working the Rock's uncle, the Samoan, one of the
Yeah,
Samoans,
yeah.
Peter Maivia.
and he beat the shit out of me.
The Samoan did.
Yeah, and I mean, Randy was sitting back there in the back after he done a splash. He come off the top rope, done a splash right there, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
He rolled this way, I rolled that way,
He splashed you.
and walked my ass out of that
The
ring.
Samoan splashed you.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I
Hot cheek
walked out of the ring.
nearby.
Randy standing back there in the hallways. God damn, Bobby, you know, man, when a man gives you a splash, you're supposed to lay there and sell it. I said, Randy, I quit.
I'm done.
minutes. I quit 5 minutes ago out there. Oh, he went off. Ronnie Garvin was there. Pistol Pez was there. Randy was there. Angelo Poffo, Lanny. I can't remember all. Anyhow, he was going off. Randy was slick off. He said, you Bobby Green, I don't care if you Bobby Green, this and that. No, he went on and on and on. I backed up, brother. I said, you got your pistol? Yeah. I said, all right. So he went on with it and started slamming doors and shit like that. He said, you Bobby, don't ever come back to my dressing room, this and that. And brother was going out in a second.
Yeah.
He was working Angelo Poffo.
Yeah.
The dad. The dad. Angelo?
No, the son, the brother.
The son.
The
No,
brother.
The
No.
genius, right?
No,
No.
Angelo was his daddy.
The dad. Angelo.
Yeah,
I
Angelo
thought
was
he
the dad.
worked his brother. I thought
No,
Randy's brother.
No, he worked Angelo Poffo.
Well,
and
maybe
he
he
started
did.
unlacing, and they was already beating the bell. I said, brother, we got to give him a match. You've already signed the contract.
Yeah.
You've got to go out there. He said, no, I ain't going out there. And, you know, because
you was
me.
You was fucking.
So-
Macho Man was fucking with you.
Finally,
Yep.
I talked him into it, and he started lacing them boots back up.
Yeah.
And he went out there and had a super match. I mean, Angelo come back there, shook his hand, said, "You're dynamite." He said, and Randy loved him. He said, Donnie, anytime you want to come back to my dressing room, you're welcome to it. He said, "Fuck you, Bobby Green."
You ain't allowed to say that.
So what I'm learning is
That's
that
awesome. How was
that-
Angelo? How was Angelo? What kind of person
Angelo
was he?
was-
Angelo
great guy.
was super.
Was he?
He was a
super
good guy.
Real nice guy, or just
Right.
Angelo was a super guy. Randy was cool. He
Yeah,
was a cool dude.
Yeah.
He was an antique hippie.
Yeah.
Hell, he stayed high all the time.
Yeah. He just
I
wanted
mean,
things like you
Right,
wanted them.
right.
I mean, but Randy was a good guy.
Yeah.
Ronnie Garvin never said nothing to nobody. And Pistol Pez, he was all right. He was a cool guy. Lanny was a good guy.
Lanny
Leaping Laney.
Yeah.
Lanny is great in his days.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rest in peace, Randy. Right,
yeah,
Randy.
right.
both of them.
Well,
He just
Yeah.
passed away.
Well, all three of them actually.
Yeah, all three of them. But yeah, Lanny was strange.
Strange guy.
My opinion.
Oh, you tell us how strange he was.
Nah, I can't go there. I won't tell
Was
it.
he like a P Diddy strange or what?
Nah,
No, he
I
wouldn't
ain't-
have that.
I ain't gonna tell it.
I mean, we would have heard that
I
by now.
won't, I won't tell it. I won't tell it.
Yeah.
Not on
but
there.
the Popos were good people.
Oh, I'm
I
sure
mean,
they were. Yeah.
Yeah, they was good.
I'd love to get like a statue of Macho Man like downtown somewhere.
Right,
Like
right.
the city should have.
Right,
a
right,
like,
right.
They should have a
Actually, he lived. He stayed in Cynthiana a lot.
statue. Yeah.
A lot.
Macho Man did.
Yeah,
Great
a
guy.
lot.
Yeah.
Lot.
He lived in Lexington though, didn't he?
Yeah,
he,
right.
he lived.
He had a
over-
chance to play for Cincinnati Reds. You know that.
Yeah.
didn't
He
you?
actually
Well, he
did,
was.
didn't he? He
Right,
did.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, he was.
did.
He got the baseball card.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Looks completely different from the guy that we know.
right.
Nick Barker has a question for you.
Who?
Nick Barker. He said, "Hey Tommy, tell us a story about Ray the Bear and Big Al and the Greens rivalry."
Are you kidding me?
Well, that's little Bobby and little Donnie's.
yeah. That's who that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had good rivals going.
Oh, they
So
every
was
town.
It, was ICW before? That was before
Right.
NWA.
ICW was later.
like after?
Well,
Right.
MWA?
NWA was going on. Well, it's,
ICW come in there when Memphis wrestling was going on.
right.
Yeah.
And then it
And
was
they
actually.
wasn't supposed to be in this territory.
Right,
Well,
right.
Yeah.
that's back then when they had territory.
Yeah.
They when ICW they run Lexington, they run these high schools,
Yeah.
and they run Berea, they run Bowling Green, they ran Nashville.
You can have it.
And I mean, they were doing the small spots, but they were bringing houses.
Yeah.
But
And then they crossed over.
Yep.
Lawler came
Now-
up to Rupp and wrestled Macho
Right.
Man, right?
Right.
now
right.
Ron Starr worked a lot with them until he blowed up Randy's car, but he worked a lot with them, and Danny Fargo worked with them.
Right.
And well, Danny went to Canada and stuff with
So,
the original Sheik.
ICW was before Mountain Wrestling.
No,
No.
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 Mount Wrestling
Mountain
Association started in
Wrestling-
1969.
Right. Mountain Wrestling was already
So it was going on during the same
operation.
time.
it was
And then
about
it
the same
later
time.
on, ICW tried to step in.
Uh-huh.
Then ICW went. I mean, it
So
was.
Was Mountain part of the Memphis territory?
Mountain was brought in. We was from Knoxville up,
Okay.
and Memphis.
So they had a
Memphis-
territory. MWA
Yeah,
had a
Right,
territory.
that was
It's-
territory grades back then.
Uh-huh.
ICW, they didn't go by the grade.
Yeah.
I mean, they ran.
Whatever they wanted to.
Right.
because
right. They
they
try to
was-
push yourself
They was
around.
on channel
Actually,
36 on
actually,
Lexington.
Dale Mann worked for us. Well,
Well,
some of the workers
I
worked
see.
with ICW, and
and that's,
Poffo took them off of Dale Mann, and that's kind of the way the
they
revival came
they,
around.
They were doing
Yeah.
they were doing house spots, and Randy and them was coming to Georgetown, and Randy and Ronnie Garvin and all them was coming to Georgetown, and Georgetown was alternating, and getting rid of theirs. Well, Danny, well, as a matter of fact, that's where Tracy Smothers come from.
right, right,
From
He
ICW.
God bless
come-
his
he
soul.
come from
right.
ICW.
ICW.
Yes.
Yeah.
And well, and Ron Starr was Fazl Dean back then.
That was Doug Vines came from ICW.
Doug Vines.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying.
So you actually wrestled for ICW and MWA. You
Yeah.
guys both.
Yeah.
Right,
Y'all?
right.
Did you?
No.
No.
No. That was
ICW.
that
Now
was
Tommy Gunn.
ICW
I didn't
kind
start
of
till '94.
94.
Yep.
Well, let me
see.
rephrase that. I did one spot.
The one you was talking
The
about.
one I was talking about
Okay.
was ICW.
Did Donnie, your brother?
And Donnie could have come back,
But he never did.
He didn't go
But
back
he-
because he loved you so much.
Right.
but something kept
Well,
him
he
away from
figured one green going down, they all going
Well, I mean,
down.
loyalty.
That's
He
true.
was
Right.
loyal to his brother.
Right.
it. Well, that's the way it was back
Yeah,
then.
yeah. You ain't
I
gonna go
mean,
like you ain't going. I ain't going.
And the Green
It's pretty
family
much
are
started
legendary.
Like that. I mean, we kept it like that. I mean,
we are blood.
Yeah.
And blood is thicker than water.
And Tommy, you're.
I'm his oldest brother.
Oh, you're the brother too. Donnie was Donnie your brother. Y'all all brothers?
Donnie was the oldest
Okay.
brother.
Okay.
Donnie was the oldest
And then-
brother.
Donnie was
then
oldest,
me,
and you.
And then,
and then
Lonnie.
there was
You the baby.
He's
No,
the
no,
baby.
Yeah, you baby.
I'm
young.
actually the middle
The middle.
of the family. We had a cripple brother,
Uh-huh.
and then Donnie, and then me, and then we had Lonnie, and then we had Bobby.
Oh wow. So
That's-
was
I'm
all
nice.
y'all wrestlers? Just three of you.
Just three of us.
Just three of you guys.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't want to get Lonnie in there. He got all carried away.
He was clumsy.
And Donnie used to bring him up there, and he would wear the shit out of him, and we had to control him.
So he was.
Yeah.
He'd lose his cool.
Yeah, he would get these some bitch call me a tumblebee. Are you kidding me?
They didn't want to play along.
No, he didn't wanna play
wanted
along.
To be, he wanted to be shooting.
Yeah, he wouldn't be a shoot down.
Yeah.
Bruce Dotson wants to know which one of y'all gave Hillbilly Jim a match.
Hillbilly Jim.
That was in Bowling Green.
Yep, Bowling Green,
That
Kentucky.
was when I learned of what a chicken wing suplex was.
Yep.
I
So
said, a what?
you're young-
He said, just hang on.
The younger Bobby is that?
Yeah. Youngest Bobby's his son.
That's your
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
That's little
Rooster
Bobby.
is his son.
And,
And Rooster's
your
mine.
son too.
Rooster's mine, and little Donnie is naturally Donnie's.
Okay.
And Sammy's mine.
He had Sammy.
Okay.
Sammy's mine.
Okay.
Hell yeah, we're
course.
learning stuff.
I knew all
even
this,
newer.
but I just wanted everybody
Right,
else to know.
right.
too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
We finally getting to know the Green family tree.
There you go. And then,
And Lexi-
then
Well,
Lexi,
now
Lexi
really,
Green.
You're not getting all of it because Dad was around that back in them days.
Yeah.
Lexi Green, I'm going to tell you straight up,
That was a
So
girl.
did your dad wrestle too?
no.
No, y'all's dad. No,
Right.
y'all started the wrestling
Yeah.
Right.
tradition.
We
Dad-
started it.
my
I
dad-
started it in the, we
So-
started putting up a wrestling ring in 1960s. I'm not going to say 60s,
Uh-huh.
within the mid 60s at Lexington Catholic High School for Nick Goodless and Lance Russell. And it was for Paul Morton. He was the referee. And we put up a wooden ring. And since you wasn't here last
You
show,
don't
I'm
hear
going
me
to.
good when I'm talking?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm going to tell you, this is a story that happened. This is how we got the Green name.
It was Nick
Yeah, I was
Goodrich.
just going to ask you that.
Okay, this is how we getting ready to tell you. We was put up the ring, and then, of course, Tojo Yamamoto was teaching Jerry Jarrett how to wrestle at the time.
Jerry,
Jerry
That
Jarrett.
you see on TV,
Yes, yes.
Jeff Jarrett,
Jeff Jarrett's dad.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Jerry Jarrett was just, Tojo was teaching him how to
Yeah.
wrestle. So they needed somebody to learn how to bump and do the moves on.
Yeah.
And Al and Donnie Green would use us as the bodyguards or whatever you want to call us, the punch guards. That's how come y'all could learn how we learn.
You say punch guards?
Yeah, we was the punch guards.
Okay.
Well, we got the shit knocked out of us. We got shit knocked out of us. If we got a backdrop, we didn't know how to land. We just know that's what we had to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
next time I'm gonna land where it's
right.
softer.
So we'll teach you on your own rules. You know what I mean? That's how we got to. And we got to be in the ones putting up the ring, and then they go get them Green boys. It ain't that we was Don Al Green's kin. We was Green in the business.
Oh, green
Yep.
in the business.
See what I'm saying? That's how we got our name as the Greens.
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that's how we got our name as the Greens.
So
And you were
it came
mentioning,
from that. It's
Lexi
like
That's
the
how,
Green,
go get them Green boys. And then everybody really, I'm telling you, we've been to New York, we've been to Florida, and they used to tell Donnie, say, Don Al Green, y'all's uncle? Yep. Boy, they used to swear up and down Donnie looked just like his Don Green
Yeah.
or Al Green. And that's how, I'm telling you, that's how
So
they.
there was an Al and a
There actually was an Al Green and a Donnie Green
in wrestling before.
in
Yeah,
real wrestling.
Okay.
That's with Paul Morton.
was Paul
Well,
Morton and them.
right. Lance Russell and Nick Goodless.
Okay.
That's where they originally
So
from.
they trained you guys, so y'all were there.
Well, we wasn't a trainer.
they-
Well, we
they
was.
beat y'all up.
Yeah, we was the beat guys.
Yeah, they
We-
get beat
So
up.
y'all learned by getting beat y'all's ass.
That's how we learned
That's
to
how
get her.
probably how it used to be, right?
Right, exactly.
Like Tom Green and legendary Bob Green said, they learned by getting body slammed onto concrete,
Right.
and then go out there and
Right.
wrestle and learn
So
on the
Bobby and
fly.
Donnie say the same things about you guys.
Right.
Did them the same way.
Yeah.
How they learned how to wrestle in that wooden ring that y'all had.
No,
Right.
We taught them how to bump.
We taught them how to bump. We never did show them how to wrestle.
Oh, okay.
So was
They
it
didn't
you?
know how-
Because we didn't have to wrestle because we didn't know.
Yeah.
So
y'all
was
got
it
a
you
bump.
that gave Bobby Green the superplex off the top of the cage into the wooden ring?
I gave Donnie, no, it was Bobby. Bobby, when I was just training, that's before he knew that I said, yeah, I'll train you if you're going to take a suplex off the top. Bobby said, I'll do it.
Oh wow.
And it was a wooden ring.
Yep.
I rolled his ass right on over, and that's what he learned. And if you take a major bump like
Yeah.
that, if you know how to hit,
Yeah.
I can't teach you how to hit.
So obviously, wood sounds like it'd be softer than steel,
It ain't. No.
but it's not.
It ain't.
No.
It-
You really believe it?
No, it just wood
Right.
sounds
You would think.
Wood
like
hurts.
a normal person would be like,
Right.
oh, wood sounds
But if
easier
you
than
think about it,
metal.
a stage is wood.
Yeah.
Well, is that concrete softer than that damn ring?
No, concrete.
That's
concrete
what a
sound.
wood. That's what a wood feels like.
like concrete.
Right.
Concrete.
Yeah.
I was
Right,
gonna say
right.
you walk across your living room floor,
Yeah,
right?
but like if somebody was saying, "Hey, wood is softer than metal,"
Right.
you think wood would
People
be softer,
think,
but it's
right.
It's definitely
It's
harder.
the length, 16 foot. So it's a 3-step ring, what we used to call a 3-step ring. All rings is made 3-step ring. Oh, I never taught him that until later
So what
on
do you
in
mean
the
by a
business.
3-step ring?
Go across that ring, I guarantee you 3
Oh,
steps.
3
you'll be-
steps to the
You'll
ropes.
be in their ropes.
Yes. Okay.
That's
Never
how you run
taught
the
you
ropes.
that, because if I taught him that, then he would think, okay, and never did teach him. You had to learn that on your
Be
own.
natural with that.
Right. If I'd have taught him, I'd go, well, I done
been
got
thinking
3
about
steps.
it.
I'm here.
Then he would have phoned it in after he said,
Right.
Well, now I've hit it.
Now,
I'm
what
here.
else am I going to do, So I never did teach them. And they always said, you feet up left. Well, because the reason why, 9 out of 10 times, a worker is right-handed.
Yeah.
So if you feet up left, what's leading?
So feet up
You're
means
right.
you give them your left.
Your arm
Yep.
is coming right
Yeah.
to them. See what I'm saying? I never taught them that because I didn't want them to learn that,
You want them to be natural.
be natural.
Yeah.
That's why when you're Irish whip, you're leading with your left.
So, like, say if I was to get in the ring with you, what would be any of you guys that are wrestling?
You don't want to do that.
I know, but what would be the first thing that you would teach me?
Lock.
Lock
How
up,
to lock
lock
up.
up.
How to lock
Collar
up.
and elbow, right?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
That's the most
And
important.
then you're 9 out of 10 times after that is I'll walk you straight out, and then I want you to, not me, want you to be able to bump straight back without pulling your elbows in.
So just
Do your own bump. Do your
lay
own
on-
bump.
lay on your back.
I'll lock up with you, and I guarantee you'll think I'm a dish rag hanging on to you. Would you not?
So, do you three, what's the key to a good bump? Like, what's the key to a good bump?
Being able to get up.
Yep.
when it's over and done with.
How it's done, and how it's done, and why it's done.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game.
You shouldn't take a bump unless it's a reason.
Yeah, it
Reason.
has to have reason.
Gotta have a reason to show why you do it. All these storylines, all you can do is why you do it.
There is no such thing as storylines no more.
No, none.
No.
You gotta make a storyline.
There's no
To
purpose.
me, I'm telling you, just like I was telling them earlier before you got here, Andy, look the differences between these rings, around that ring right now, and nowadays, if you go where you got barricades this tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look there,
Ropes.
ropes.
Yeah.
And why?
Strings, actually.
Why? You know what I mean? Because they bleed in wrestling than what it was. The rules in Kentucky has changed. Period.
Yeah.
That's
See,
right.
and I beg to
We
differ.
see that all the
It's-
time because but we go up to, we just go right over the bridge from
Indiana.
Louisville into Indiana, and it's such a different product.
Right.
West
Right.
Virginia is different.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Tennessee's
You're fair.
different.
You were talking about the best, what's the most important part of the bump. To me, it's not even the meaning. It's the guy taking the bump if he sells it.
Right.
Yep.
Because
Right.
here's the thing. If you're walking down the street and you see some guy get knocked his block knocked off,
Yeah.
and he hits the ground, do you know the meaning behind what happened?
No, but
But if he smacks that ground hard enough for you to hear it 10 foot away from him,
That's good.
what are you going to remember?
I tell you
Remember
what,
You know,
right now, you're down at EWA, but Adrian Alexander is such a good. He sells so good.
I tell
Next time
you,
you watch him wrestle,
I'm gonna tell you
watch
how
him.
far down I know in Indiana.
How you doing, Ray X?
2X. Or let me read X. You put me. I call him 2 Week Tony. Y'all call him what is
Too
his
tough, Tony.
Too Tough Tony.
Yeah, yeah,
I remember when that kid started.
yeah.
And I will call him a kid. He
Oh,
tells me
yeah.
he's older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know better. But he was going to quit when he first started. I don't know if the guy if Tony's still even hears y'all or whatever. There was another guy named Corporal
Robinson.
Robinson.
Corporal Robinson.
That was another one. I mean, he was the one I didn't want him to go down that path, but he lived in Louisville. So go over the bridge, I'd get more work. All right, go.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, I mean, as Corporal Roberts, 2 Week Tony.
It's definitely such a
So
different,
much.
such a different product.
Is
from
Tony still
Kentucky
working
to-
in the Indiana? Have you?
I don't ever seen him wrestle, but he runs. I think he runs Roundhouse. Wrestling.
Yeah, he
Really?
does. Grindhouse
Yes,
Pro Wrestling.
Okay. Next time y'all was down there, you see, run into him and say, Tommy Green was talking about
Yeah,
you.
you ought to go up there and see a match, man. 'cause
Oh,
you
he
ought to go
would
up there and
blow
watch.
him out of the water.
Yeah, you probably ought to go up there. I mean, it's not that far. It's like
Right.
an hour, maybe.
Right, right.
drive.
Nick Himes chimed in. He said, "The first family of Kentucky, Tennessee wrestling. Great show. So much wrestling knowledge." He's right.
Who?
Nick Himes.
Himes.
He's Skullface Records, and he
He's,
has dabbled as a
He was
manager.
just in.
He's got good taste.
Yeah. He's got good taste.
He's a good one too.
Good, good.
He understands to listen.
Right.
That's something that some of these young guys need to understand. Shut their mouths and listen to the older
Right.
guys.
That's
Like Ray X said when he was sitting right there. He said, "We had 4 veterans sitting inside back, and not one of the young guys at the TCW UCW show
Well, that's the way it is.
came to talk." Exactly. There's no camaraderie. There's no camaraderie like there used to be, like
Well, they
that
probably didn't
brotherhood.
know who you
Right
guys
there,
were.
that's
I
right,
mean,
right,
you know,
right,
If they
right.
didn't know who you guys were,
Right.
they'd probably be like, "Oh, this is another."
That's what I was telling him. Just like I said, I don't know if you was here, Andy, then. They won't remember you. Now, they know us as a Green and a Gun.
Yeah.
But how they remembered us. Like I said, he has a gold jacket on. You go to a different show, he don't know him,
Yeah.
but he remembers him because he had something that he remembered
Well,
me
a lot
by.
of these guys nowadays, I've realized that when they're different, like they're so like a lot of them really shy in the back.
Right,
You know,
right.
Like as far as talking to them,
Right.
Like, you get them out there on the stage.
There's like two different
Yeah,
worlds.
two different. And then when they go backstage, they're just a shy person because I
Right.
think a lot of them don't know who they give so much to that character that they forget who they are sometimes.
Right.
Back in them days.
And you guys were like y'all were the same.
Well,
You was that. You
we
wasn't
got
the
in
character. That was you.
We got
Yeah.
in character.
Yeah.
I mean,
We lived the character.
Yeah, but that was y'all. Yeah, that's what I'm
Then,
saying.
yeah, right. And
Bobby
then
Cr-
just like he was.
Very
Good.
few. Very
He-
few are doing that nowadays.
Right.
They're
right.
two different.
Right. There's,
See?
I made to be a character. You know.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Back in them days, Bobby Green was an asshole.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you see me out in the street, it's different. It's a different world.
And for his
Yeah.
point, I
But
had
that was you. That was just another side of you.
That's all it
Yeah.
was. I
Which-
mean, it's just like a TV movie.
Yeah.
I mean, they play characters,
Yeah.
and that's all it is. It's
But-
show.
Yeah. Sure.
It's weird sitting there listening to them say that now
Uh-huh.
because in '94,
They would not have said that.
no, there was no difference between
No.
Who
they
you
wouldn't have
seen
said
inside
that
the
back
ring and
then.
outside the
You
ring.
guys wouldn't have. Your guys wouldn't. What y'all are talking about today, you would not have told me any of that stuff back in the day,
No.
right? 'Cause
No.
that was, that was a lot of.
that was their storyline.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all
That's their
wouldn't have been like,
storyline. There
y'all
you
wouldn't
go.
have if y'all, back then when y'all were wrestling, y'all wouldn't have came on the.
But they
podcast and
loved to
talked
hate us. They loved to hate us. If
Yeah.
we'd have turned clean, they would have hated it because we got to be a good guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they didn't get to gripe at.
But
You
Yeah.
know
Am
what
I
I
right
mean?
about that? Am I right
Exactly.
about you guys wouldn't have came on my show if y'all were still wrestling?
well,
Yeah, I would have.
I mean,
yeah,
but you would've
because
been a
I
character.
would.
we had a
I love to being who I am because I never forgot where I came from.
well back then we had a code.
Yeah.
You went by a code.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's not that we wouldn't have come on your podcast,
Yeah.
but
We'd still
I wouldn't
be
have
our
been coming
character.
on here to work if I was working him anywhere in the
Yep.
surrounding
Y'all would be
area or
fighting.
anywhere
Right,
close.
right,
Yeah,
right.
if
Y'all would've
walked
been
in
fighting out that
if
door.
if you walked in and he was there, y'all would be fighting.
Yeah, we'd
Right.
be going
We'd
at
had
it.
to.
Because
You know
Like-
what I
like
mean?
Scott-
We'd had to. You know
That's
what I
how
mean?
it was supposed to be.
Right.
like Scott Diamond said, well, there was one time when he was working with this little person, and if the little person shows up, that little person's fighting outside the door. They're not going to be sitting there and talking with each other
Right.
like best friends. They're going to be fighting the
Right.
whole time.
but I'm telling you, I was there for 20 years,
Yeah.
and it's the same people. every night, every Sunday night, sitting in the same seat.
Love Tracy
Yeah.
Smokers.
You know they've
Yeah,
seen
he was
everything
good.
in the
He was
business.
good.
Yeah.
And
They've
they
seen-
He understood.
they got in their mind what they're seeing.
How'd y'all keep it
Look at
fresh?
that.
How'd y'all keep it fresh?
Just
for
from a
the
push, he
audience?
made that mad.
Like-
We made a story to have them the reason to come back.
Y'all-
It wouldn't be
long-term storyline,
right.
right?
It's a
We
soap opera.
didn't have
Yeah.
right. That's exactly it. How many people? I don't know. People would love to watch. What was the stories? The
Days of Our Lives. Or something?
Days of Our
Yeah.
Lives. There you go. That's
I
what I'm
watched that
saying.
with my mom after
Th-
school every day.
But why?
Because
Because he had a story to
there
keep
was a lot of
going.
Exactly.
Like
Right.
that
backstabbing.
Right.
Like that right there.
Backstabbing,
Nobody wants to
betrayal,
see
everything.
Chris beat the hell out of Tracy Smothers.
No.
But there has to be a story there to bring them people back, and they're going to follow that story until the end. You could run that story for 3 months.
Yeah.
I worked Terry Allen for
every
3
Sunday.
years. 3 years.
Same storyline.
And guess what? We never. It was like, when you going to beat the shit out of Terry Allen? When Terry Allen going to beat the shit out of you? Then we go somewhere else. When's, you know what I'm saying? It was our story. And in this area, this is where we're going to hit. Just like when we would go down to Tennessee, he would be a good guy, and I'd be the bad guy.
So I was going to ask you about that. So y'all wrestled in MWA and y'all wrestled other places too,
Right,
right?
right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because a lot of wrestlers do that now.
Right.
We went to West Virginia for Shuffling Hillbilly, and then we go to Indiana for the Masher,
Yeah.
or the Mongolian Stomper.
So whatever the promoter wanted y'all to do,
Whatever they would
y'all
want us to
usually
do.
heels,
But,
right?
right, we worked heel because they kept saying, them are greens.
Yeah, the promoters would keep you. I mean, like we were greens, we stayed green.
Yeah.
We didn't, we didn't go under mask. We didn't do all that.
Yeah.
But now, the rookies coming in, yeah, I mean they were free. They were free game.
Yeah.
But no.
Oh, we
Just
got,
like
we
I
got,
told IC,
we got
don't shit on me. And
we got to get our champions to get bigger or
fast.
stronger. So we're gonna bring y'all in because I know y'all know how to heal.
Is there anybody you guys wrestled that you're like, man, I wrestled that guy?
Yeah, Hillbilly Jim.
Hillbilly Jim.
He was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, we seen him.
Beautiful
He
Bobby
still
Eaton.
looks
Gotta
like he's
get
in
him on
great
your
shape.
team.
Beautiful Bobby
Bo
Eaton
Bo-
loved that man.
Yeah.
Loved him to death. Couldn't stand his other people in his family, but I loved that man. Bobo Jr. Bobo Jr., Bobo Seal, Senior, yes, loved them people.
Yeah.
Loved them to death.
I got a chance to step in the ring with Jerry the King Lawler,
No way.
Hell
No
yeah.
way.
Mount Sterling, Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
Sure did. One of the
That's what I'm
greatest,
talking about.
right?
Hey, I've
Greatest
seen the
highlights.
picture.
Yeah.
It's but you were talking about, great ones that you stepped in there.
But when you got in there, you shut up, you listened. He made you look like $1 million.
Yes, he sure did. Yes, he sure did.
Just like y'all know him.
But I tell you what,
It's Chris. What did he go under the mask, Bobby? It had him on there. The Biz. Duh. He remembered our boots because he listened to us.
Yeah.
And now he never did
Yes.
forget.
I
He
got-
never did forget who we was. You know what I'm saying?
We got a lot of
Tell us about that
respect
match,
off of that.
Jared Lawler match.
oh,
Yeah,
with
tell
Jerry
us about
Lawler, that was me and Dirty Chris Hayes' brother Scott Hayes,
Right.
Oh,
legendary Larry
Now, I
D.
love Scotty to death.
We,
Scotty was my hero.
At that time, we were running as the PITs, the Playboys in Training.
Yeah, Andy wasn't there
Scott.
when we were watching that match.
And they brought Lawler in, and it was Jerry and Donnie. Jerry and Donnie Green against me and Scott Hayes and Larry on the outside.
His
And
brother Donnie.
no,
Donnie.
Little Donnie.
Little
Little Donnie.
He's
When
in a
he
different
when he
era.
says Donnie,
Yeah.
when he says
When
Donnie,
he says Donnie, he means all
Big
Donnie.
Donnie.
I mean the little Donnie.
yeah, little Donnie,
young ones.
Big Donnie. He was around when he was there because actually Gunn helped us carry him to the gravesite.
When they say Donnie,
Yeah.
they mean Big Donnie.
He was his pallbearer.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, one of them.
But working with Lawler, it was great because like you said, he come in, he made us look like $1 million. When he come in, we were like, we kind of went over what we had talked about. And we looked at him and said, what do you think? And his exact words to us that night was, this is your house. I'm just here to make you look good.
But see, I did the same thing with Steamboat. I was in that ring with Steamboat. I was a rookie. I shut up. I listened. I walked right on through it. He made me look like a damn $1 million.
What'd you learn that day from Steamboat?
To shut up and listen.
So that's your advice for everybody. Shut up and listen.
I'm old school. I know when to shut up.
And listen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, who taught you how to be old school? Who taught you how to do that? You just
Donnie
Green. Donnie.
We learned on our
Green
own pretty much because, like I said,
And then
we was the bump.
Yeah.
We was the bump people, and then when we got to different
Because
shows,
y'all wanted to learn, y'all.
we learned from their moves.
Yeah.
All right, we done this bump, but it didn't show us how to do it.
But I guess it was from the love of the business.
Right, that's
Yeah.
how you had to do it.
But
I mean,
back in that day, we wasn't allowed to turn the TV on.
right.
We wouldn't. I had no idea who was on TV.
Okay. You wouldn't
As
allow to
wrestling.
watch wrestling.
As
Don't watch
right.
the rest.
Because that way you didn't have to learn.
Because it would get you killed.
Right. Because a lot of them would say, well, I could try that.
If you grab a man up there and you bump him, you better know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you got his life in your hands.
Yeah.
And you don't want to
Hear
break
that,
his
Johnny?
back. You don't want to paralyze him.
I had your life inside my hands. Thank you. When I hit you with those double knees, I took perfectly care of you.
Are you trying to tell me he don't know when to shut up and listen?
Yeah. I took perfectly care of him.
Johnny made up everything as he went.
That's because you forgot the entire beginning because of Sean.
We didn't do, like I said.
I guess he's
when-
a green there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's a green. He's back like we did in the dressing
Johnny
room.
Green.
Well, like when he was in the dressing room, they'd be going, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Okay.
And then you
So
and
would
then
y'all,
when
would
you're
y'all
out there,
do that,
you
or would
forgot.
y'all be like, hey,
They
let's
do
just go out
that.
there?
Gun.
And that's
Should
what
I
happened with
answer
us.
that?
If
They
we
would
get
say,
shot,
we're
we
going
would
to do
have
this,
hell
we're
money.
going to do this, we're going to do this.
I've-
And
I've
all
been
I
in the-
do
They
is
let me
shake
in
my
the-
head.
They let me in the locker rooms, and I hear, I listen. I
Right,
don't never
right.
say anything outside
Right.
the locker rooms.
And
I
you
hear
know
people
why?
Like,
You know-
do this, do this, do this, do this.
That's respect.
I'm going to
Did
tell
y'all
you.
do that?
Here's the way I do it,
Okay.
Andy. Here's the way I done it. Okay. And then when I went out there, they listened to me.
Yeah.
Because that way they hadn't forgot about, I missed that damn spot. I missed it. I hated that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
We
Yep.
did Little Bobby and Little Donnie. We worked them in Cynthiana.
Yeah.
And Donnie called all them spots. He said, we're going to do this.
Your
we're
brother
gonna do
Donnie.
that, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother Donnie.
Brother Donnie.
And time we get out to the ring,
He
we
done
done
changed his
that
damn
thing
mind.
5 times.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we
See?
didn't tell them about
Yeah.
it. They just hang on.
Just hang on.
That's the way they got to work it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
that way they,
if you're in the ring with Jerry Lawler, just hang on.
right. I mean, that
Listen and
way,
hang on.
did.
Because that's exactly what he said. You know, we're sitting there, we went over a few things, and he was like, you guys do this, and you guys do that, and then you tag me, Gunn in, and I'll get in there, and then we'll just walk. I was like, what? Wait a minute here. You know,
You're
went over,
learning.
you
Walk
know, went
and
over
talk.
things with everybody else in here, and you get to me, and it's like, oh, we're just going to walk. You know, but once again, just like I told you earlier, that's the way I learned for the first 10 years.
He
I
knows
never
you can work.
I never worked a spot for the first 10 years I was in the business.
didn't want them to learn the spot because we're going to show them to learn their best.
I think Jerry Lawler needs, like they say, the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. I think he needs a permanent spot on that.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Right. I agree with you. I mean, like I said, there's been announcers been there. Dale Bass, y'all have heard him for years.
Yep.
I mean, come on. Chadwick, before he was a manager, guess what? He was an announcer.
Yep.
I got names come out of my head like from everywhere, you know, that they didn't even have a clue that they couldn't even do it. Put a mic in front of them and they could.
Bobby's awesome now. Bobby went back to it.
There you
Bobby,
go.
That's what Bobby's doing now.
Bobby's
Yep.
doing it now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I'm going to tell you, when I started, I don't even remember what it was in Cynthiana, ICW, no, let me rephrase that. BBW was running Cynthiana.
It was Joe Clark.
No,
That was Joe Bailey.
Joe Bailey.
Joe Bailey.
Joe Bailey was blowing it out.
Oh, look at this. We got Crusher Bones Forever, a.k.a. Tripping Balls, on the son of Crusher Bones. He
Glad to have
said,
him on,
much
son.
love to the Green family.
Hey, Crusher.
Yeah, we love Crusher Bones to death.
I was going to say.
That's right. They love
Bones.
Crusher Bones to death.
You got,
Tripping
you got a
Balls.
story about Crusher Bones?
Bones
Yeah.
is my hero.
Yep, yeah. They told us earlier
Yeah. Yeah.
about the night
Crusher
that
Bones,
both
Deputy
saved him.
Dog. Yes.
Deputy Dog.
They pulled me out of the Tattersall building. I brought them out of Louisville. I had to have a match that night. They showed up before their match and went out there and worked. Had a hell of a match.
Oh, yeah. So they wasn't scheduled to wrestle.
No.
They just showed up.
No, he was short
But
on hands.
I was short one match. So I called them up.
You promoted?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had OCW on the mat championship wrestling. And this one, I had this one, loved that one to death. I mean,
Where would you
I
wrestle?
had Justin Idol, had
Where'd you come out of? Like what city?
Mount Sterling.
Just Mount Sterling? Mount Sterling?
Mount Sterling local, and then we had the Tattersall building
Yeah.
again.
Oh, Tattersall, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And that's when, like I was telling him, the wall and the crowbar showed up. The wall bent 3 of my poles.
Oh, shit. He's a
them
big
ropes.
guy, right?
Yep.
He was
Oh,
hitting
yeah.
them ropes. Hell, I didn't know they were bent till the next show.
Wow.
And it looked like a big old sway back mule.
Did you have to get a new ring, or did you?
Well, hell yeah, I had to get a new one.
The Tattersall building. I actually went and,
And
saw,
we was-
I
and-
saw some matches over there.
And we
when
was
I was
over
younger.
at the Varsity Blue too.
Yeah. Oh, Varsity Blue. Yeah.
And that was right down the street.
Uh-huh,
from
right down the street.
Tattersall building.
Yes.
They already tore the Tattersall building down.
Did you put on the match where Jerry Lawler took on Sabu?
No.
No.
You was, that,
That
was
was-
you. That was
that
at Tattersall.
That
Right.
was
That
we
was
we was going together. I mean,
that
he
was
had his organization, I had my organization, and we were meeting together. That's where we brought in Sherry Martell.
Yeah, she was there too.
She worked.
And
She
she
worked with
dressed
us,
for the boys.
but she worked with them. But she was, she was in between. I tell you, she
I
was.
loved that show.
She was doing a spot up in Canada.
Uh-huh.
It was during that time, and they was doing Ladies of Wrestling, and she was doing spots up in Canada, which I mean, she was in between that show, my show, and Canada.
Okay.
I mean, she was busy. She was
So
a
y'all
busy lady.
y'all did Varsity Blue. I remember when they were.
Yeah.
I remember when they were throwing shows over there, and I think I actually went inside, but I never got to stay for the match. It was just packed.
Packed.
Al and Donnie and them were wrestling there.
right,
that night, I
right,
think.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
Al
that-
Steele and
that was my ring.
Bear. Yeah, okay.
Y'all are in luck.
My ring. That
Crush
was
it.
The damn pole.
Your
bent.
son, when he was in here, he was talking about you. He was saying, "My dad wants to go back and do some. He wants to promote again. He wants to promote again."
Well,
Have you been thinking about it or no?
I'm wanting to bring back MWA.
That would
Some
be,
way, somehow.
That would be incredible. Who owns the rights to that? I mean, it might be just
Well,
in limbo. It might
the
be
last-
not
Might
owned by
be in
anybody.
limbo.
The
I
last
don't
one
know.
had it is that man right there, I think.
After so many
No,
years
he
of
sold-
copyrights,
After-
Did he sell it?
right,
Who
right.
did he sell it to?
after
I
so
don't
many
know.
years, the
I don't
copyrights
know.
you can grab
Right.
them up.
Right.
Well, I mean, you can name it anything, just as long as I mean,
Yeah,
but
I don't think anybody would say
I'd be
anything.
scared. I'd be scared of the talent. Not saying nothing bad, but
Yeah.
I would be scared.
You want to
The
run.
talent-
You want to run that, and
It's
it's not that no more.
I want that caliber
Yeah,
in my show.
yeah,
I mean, I don't think they've got that kind of caliber.
yeah.
No, they would if you.
I might be.
You got to
prejudiced.
train them to be
Appalachian's
there.
pretty good. You,
But
you
there's
guys have seen
someone
the
that
Appalachian
will-
Mountain Wrestling?
Right.
Not
And then I would
criticism.
cut your ass off.
But there's
I'll
nobody
tell
gonna
you
come
right
in
now,
there.
I run like I was getting ready to tell you. BBW was running Santana. Tell you right now, every one of them sitting in this room would know it. Them two right there would definitely know it. BBW said, "You can't run in Santana." I said, "I'm going to run."
Now he'll run a good show. I mean,
I'm gonna
back
run.
in the day,
I'm
you
gonna
could have-
tell you,
could have a
Cynthiana-
gunfight out there.
Hey, we got Crusher Bones here. He said have quite a bit of OCW wrestling uploaded, and actually have a clip of Sherry Martell hanging out backstage in Mount Sterling
That's
from
right.
circa 2001.
That's right.
Okay, cool.
That's why Tripping
I
Balls
was-
is the
We
man.
need some of that clips, or
I was running
Bone
back
Crusher,
then,
been on the
one,
NiceGuyAndy podcast page.
Right,
two,
right.
3. I was running 2, 3, and 4. 2001, 2000.
BBW was running that show, and I said, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to beat you out. I'm going to beat you out in Cynthiana.
What was your promotion called?
And I wouldn't, my promotion, I was running it for a person, and I can't remember who it was, Darwin Thomas and Rick Hatton. And I said, I'm going to tell you right now. Huh?
TCW.
It may, yeah, TCW, that's who it was. That's who it was. That man right there, sitting right there, he showed up. And I can tell you right now, I had to turn him away from the fire department. She told me I can't put nobody else in the building. They was, every seat in the building was sold out.
Well, I
The
will give him
bleachers
that.
sold out. The standing room all the way around, I had 500 people in there.
Because
Couldn't put no more in the building.
back in our day, we could have a damn gunfight out there and still wouldn't
That's
hurt
right.
around.
And BBW said, you won't do it again? The very following month, I sold out again.
Oh,
That's right.
I was telling them, man. And the reason why, I took local people. I mean, I even had to teach them how to sell the hot dogs. I mean, I had everybody. I had
teach you about to sell hot dogs.
yeah.
But that's
I
the
had
difference.
concession
Yeah.
stand. I had local kids, people. I had local people versus other people.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I even taught them how to referee. I had to teach them how to
But-
be an announcer. Everybody.
But the key of it
The-
was you get the crowd involved.
right.
It makes them feel like they're participating
Yeah.
in the show.
Yeah.
And I sold out
It's over.
6 times in a row.
Wow.
6
Hell yeah.
times. 6 months in a row, I sold out. Then the big head of the family, of the organization says, I don't need you no more, Tommy. I can do this. Stepped out 1 month later. They didn't draw 50 people.
They found out you were gone.
They didn't draw 50. But the storyline's lost.
Yeah.
See what I'm
So
saying?
what do you like? What would you come up with the storyline? Just out of your brain? Just
Well, I
just
would
know
take.
there's a
I would
formula.
take these people, and like Gunn, I know his action,
Well,
Yeah.
we pretty much know.
and I
what
knew
to put.
what to put him with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would draw people to it.
See, you can't put 120-pound guy in there with abyss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
But that's the way these promoters are working.
That's what they
this.
do now. Yeah.
And it's killing the business.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not what it used to be.
And then they do 1,700 finishes in one
Yeah.
match.
Yeah. They had like Brody
Bullshit.
King against Darby
And,
Allin. That was just nuts.
Crush your
Just
bone.
Keep kicking out. And kick.
Yeah,
but
kick
hell,
out.
you
It's
ain't going to
crazy.
kick out one more damn time. I'm going to wear your ass out.
So
Trip.
yeah, is that?
It was too many
When you watch
kickouts.
wrestling, there's too many kickouts, ain't there?
Too many kick out. I mean, there is
Yeah.
a time when you
Wow.
do it
You
right.
got to
Why do
feel
they
the
go
crowd.
for so many? Why do
Right.
they go for so many
Why?
kickouts?
Why?
Because they
Because
forgotten
they're
the
not
art.
working the crowd.
That's-
They got to feel the crowd.
You're not.
Yeah.
If the crowd's not there, why?
Exactly.
If the
I
crowd's here, why?
There's plenty of times with those kickouts at the end of the match, but not like all the way through the match.
Yeah, it's been
Right,
stupid.
right. It's ridiculous.
But that's the great.
And then I'm gonna tell
Yeah,
you
that's
right
the way they're
now,
doing it now.
I would if you on my show, you kicked out 17 times, your ass won't come back again.
Yeah.
Because
That's
I ain't
right.
got nobody to work you.
Yeah, why? Yeah, why would you?
I ain't
kick
got
out
a
that
damn
many
soul to
times?
work you.
we don't play John Wayne.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no John Wayne out there.
Yeah, can't be John Wayne 17 times in the same
Right,
movie.
right.
There's
And hell, he only died one time, right?
Exactly.
Hey,
John
old
Wayne,
school.
The only John Wayne I ever met was Dale May. I mean, he can get away with
Hell
it.
yeah, he
He
can.
was,
Trip Boss wants to know: is it fair to say Joe Bailey had a bad reputation among the old school Kentucky wrestlers when he started promoting?
I don't think so. I mean,
Joe
that's
Bailey, he was a great guy, loved him to death, but he also got to realize that's my hometown.
Yep.
I will kick your ass in my hometown. If I didn't kick your ass in my hometown, I'd say, sorry about my
that was
luck.
BBW.
Yep.
You're
Right.
The reputation of Joe Bailey was all on which side of that reputation you were.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I never actually worked for Joe, but maybe once. But I've got nothing but respect for Joe Bailey because Joe Bailey run his show. He didn't
Right.
take no BS from anybody
Right,
else.
right.
You didn't
Well,
push
see,
Joe Bailey
The
around.
only reason the only thing I say, all these promoters in Kentucky, in the surrounding areas, if they would put their heads together instead of fighting,
Yeah.
they'd have one hell of a show.
I think a lot of Kentucky is doing that
Right.
right now, but they help each other with their shows.
Right,
They don't
right,
do a big
right.
show.
Right.
Back in our days, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it
If
was
you
just
work
real
for this
big stuff.
promoter, you can't work for me. That's exactly what you used to tell me.
Yeah, that's
well, let me
not
tell
how it
you
is now
something.
at all.
I ain't got no damn contract with you. I'm working for them.
These promoters be calling and be like, I got this guy, you
Right,
should use
right,
him.
That's,
right.
That's one of the
Which is
reasons.
good.
That's
Right.
one of the reasons we never signed a contract.
I was going to say
We
it's
never
called
signed a
it's called
contract.
independent wrestling for a reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
And can y'all
we didn't even
believe?
belong to our wives, much less.
there's not a promotion that's
Yeah.
running around here, even today. If you're not WWE, are you going to pay me enough to tell me who I can and can't step in
Right.
the ring?
Exactly.
They're starting to let people wrestle other places too, WWE.
Right,
is.
right.
So,
Oh, yeah, because
Well, they had to.
they got to, because
But
guess
somebody's
why?
out.
There's
Somebody's
somebody
out.
else. Exactly.
Yeah. There's
And,
there's somebody else doing it.
Right, right.
What do y'all have y'all watched
Now, that's
WWE
another
and
thing I
AEW?
always- That's another thing I always looked at. The more promoters my worker goes to,
Yeah.
if they keep him sane,
The same
heel
way
or-
that we
or
keeping them.
baby,
Yeah.
the more exposure he gets,
Yeah.
hell, the better I look.
Yeah, keep the storyline about the same, and,
Right,
and
right.
the character about
Right.
the
The
same.
same
and-
character's got to
Yeah.
go the same
Yeah.
time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I've seen the same character go, and he's been switched up.
Right, right.
Just
And
because I'm
great.
working for
And
MWA
there's no
on
purpose.
a Friday
Exactly.
night
Is
no
there a
purpose.
purpose?
doesn't
I
mean
don't
I'm
see
going to
no
go
purpose
over
to
to, you know, Next Gen on Sunday night, and the people from Friday night not going to know who I am.
Right.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Exactly.
they go to so many and just
So they
because
shouldn't
I'm
have.
working,
If you're beefing with this guy over here at this promotion, you shouldn't go tag with him the next.
Right.
No.
You definitely,
Yeah.
you're
You
definitely
definitely
not
not
coming
doing
back
that.
on my
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Now you're catching on.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but there's probably some people doing that shit.
Oh yeah,
Which
they
is
try
stupid.
to.
Oh,
They try to.
They try.
They
That's
try.
what's killing them.
But if the workers realize, wait a minute, I'm shooting my damn self in the foot because
Yeah.
that word's gonna come. I don't care if you're in another state, but that damn state word
Yeah.
jump states every
Oh,
time.
right now with the social media the way it is, it's instant.
Right.
It's like
Yep.
they see the same character. They don't care which promotion it is. The promotions are irrelevant.
Right.
The characters and the wrestlers are.
That goes a million.
That's where it's
$1,000.
at. That's where it's
Right.
at. So you should. Every promotion should be like, hey, let's do the character about the roundabout
Right.
same because this
Right.
guy's building something and we should help him build this character.
Right.
But
You
on the
would-
flip side, as far as from the promoter standpoint, the workers that I'm booking, I don't want to hear when I book you up say, yeah, I can come up there, but I've got to go over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, hold on. First off, this is my show.
Yeah.
I'm paying you.
I pay you.
How many times
Now,
you heard me tell them
I
that?
know you're getting a big push down
That's
here.
right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring you up here and just smash you like some federations
Right.
or
Yeah,
some
they
companies
shouldn't
do.
that.
Right,
They shouldn't
right.
smash you.
Right.
But just because you work down there and you're getting a big push down there doesn't
Oh,
mean I'm
no.
going to come up here and put your belt on me, put my belt on you the
But-
first time you step in my ring.
Right.
But don't
Right.
let me go down there and you smash me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, one turn deserves
Right.
another.
Yeah.
But it has happened
Oh yeah.
several
yeah.
times.
Oh, sure.
It did. And guess what? It don't happen every time because you know what? Hey, that asshole down there done me this way. That word goes around
Yeah. Yeah.
quick. Because this worker go, well, what about this? What about this? What happened to
If they
me?
blackball one person, they can
Right.
blackball like
That's
That's
what
right.
I'm getting at.
by
The word
association,
gets-
you're going to blackball
But
5 because those
really-
guys aren't coming.
Really, what you're doing, that promoter just killed this guy
Yeah.
because he can't come on this show.
Yeah.
Now that's more exposure that promoter just because he smashed or killed you.
Either
that talent is paying for it.
right.
because he
Either
can't come
that
to this show.
either that promoter's going out or he's killing himself and he don't realize it. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because that promoter's either quitting or not going to get his promoter license again, or he's hurting himself in the long run. Because, like I said, word goes around just like it does right in this circle.
Yeah.
And can y'all believe that y'all been on here 2 hours and 34 minutes?
Oh, it's time me go. I'm getting checked.
Yeah, it's after 10, guys.
But
Is it really?
we're starting to tell that the nightclub's about to start too.
I don't think
I
they're
can
going
feel
to
the
run
beat.
tonight. I don't think they're going to run tonight because of the weather.
You say
I can hear
nightclub?
something.
There's a nightclub
It's like a
downstairs,
beat.
Yeah.
You say nightclubs?
Yeah.
How old
Yep.
do you think I am, dude?
But yeah,
my
this has
nightclub
been
is
a-
on that pillow.
it's been a hell of a show tonight.
Thank y'all.
We've learned something. We've learned about the Green family tree. We've learned about the true nature of promoting. We've learned more about Randy Savage, Lenny Popo, and all of them. I'd like to have y'all back for a part
y'all,
2.
Y'all are welcome to come back anytime.
Hey,
Anytime
just-
y'all have
just
free
holler at
time,
us.
anytime
Just
y'all want
holler
Oh,
to.
hey, Joe.
Appreciate you.
Just because y'all guys aren't in the ring anymore doesn't mean that wrestling fans don't want to see you, because they do. We want
Yeah,
to
they
see you
do.
guys.
Right.
You've had many
Donnie
tune
Green
in.
and Bobby came in here, and they've told so many stories about you guys. I felt like I've known y'all already, and y'all have seen me and
Good.
on this, and y'all seen Johnny on here. I feel like we all know each other anyway, and we're all you guys
Right.
are welcome.
I'm
here
going to tell
anytime.
you what way it is every time. I just love to be impartial of still wrestling. I mean, I'm not in the ring, but I could be there anytime y'all
That's
need
true.
me. You know what I mean? I'm always here to help somebody, and I hope I help somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm always out to help somebody.
Especially those that will listen instead of talk.
Right. Thank you.
Because there are a lot of wrestlers that need to take that advice to shut up and just listen.
Listening.
Because listening goes a long way.
We've said it all radio show, right?
Yep,
Just listen.
that's
And
right.
and it takes you more places than you ever. Jimmy Valiant, he would taught me everything. Just like I said, when I went from being a bad guy to a good guy, you wouldn't hear Andy. I was telling this. They know that Green always carried a chain.
Yeah.
Known for the chain. When I went from being a bad guy to a new guy, I said, Jimmy, what do I need to do? Don't change a damn thing. I said, why? He said, you'll find out. I went to the ring the night, 7 people have a chain wrapped around them. Hand me a chain, And
Yep.
then the promoter, the athletic commissioner says, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the reason I said state of Kentucky.
That's
I want to
right.
ask all you guys, your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Who are they? Of all time, anybody you want, any guys you've wrestled with. They don't have to be a professional guy. Who is it, Tommy? It's like 4.
Oh
And
man,
they
I
started.
can't.
started, ain't they?
Yeah, I wasn't stupid.
I don't know. I can't.
They're smart.
I've worked so many people. I mean, it's just hard to. Handsome Jimmy, beautiful Bobby Eaton, Tommy Gunn. I loved him when I worked him. He didn't have to learn nothing because he knew my moves. I knew his. Me and Bobby worked. We used to have strap down buttons, but guess what? We knew each other. You know what I'm
Your
saying?
Mount Rushmore is all greens.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I mean, beautiful Bobby
You're
Eaton.
saying
of
that
course.
Like it's a problem?
No, it's a good thing. It's a good. I
Beautiful
think my
Bobby.
Mount Rushmore is all greens now.
Yes.
That's what put you on the show.
No, I love you guys coming in.
Hey,
That's
I love
right.
coming here. Anytime y'all can get us in, hey, just let me know.
Hell yeah. And hey, I'd like to have you come in and host the show one day, Bobby.
Oh
Love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And have it be an MWA show for you.
I'd love to have you guys and Donnie and Bobby here too, like little
Right,
Bobby
right,
and Donnie
right,
here.
right, right.
And maybe B Money be here with them.
We need a bigger room.
I was
Oh,
going
yeah,
to say,
definitely.
if you get the
better
crew back
get
here, you got to
better
get a little more
bigger
room.
Well, it's going to get cooler, so
That's
we won't
true.
need to
Cause
have
Gunn
ain't
had
gonna get
to bring
cooler in
his, and
the outside's going to get cooler. We'll open the
There's
window.
there's a lot of bullshit going on.
Oh yeah.
you think it's some
Stack it up,
bull?
ain't it?
You think there ain't no bullshit then?
And you
Let
know
us
what?
all go.
I got one thing to say. If you're not having fun,
You're not getting none.
damn Skippy. Yeet yeet. That damn nightclub, man.
Nice guy, Andy Pop.